Hey, what is going on, you guys? Listen, this is going to be a very interesting show tonight. So, I would just like to just get this out of the way, introduce myself, and then we're going to go from Celeste to Oscar, and then we're going to introduce our special guest. Y'all already know it is your boy Jordan, the Don Adorno, and I will be out here just hosting alongside with my beloved family members with Monster with Attitudes. We are the moderators. This is the Hollow Earthiens discussion on Godzilla X Kong, the new empire. So let's go right ahead, give yourself or give the audience proper introduction. And right after you, again, we'll go to Oscar.
Hello, well, my name is Celeste. I'm one of the moderators of Monsters with Attitude. I love Godzilla much, and I just want to say I'm so excited that I get to talk about this movie with y'all. I barely get to talk about it besides my partner, who is also a giant Godzilla fan, if you'd like to introduce yourself to as well.
Whoops.
But yeah, we're pretty good fans. I'm really excited to talk about this movie, and that's about it for now.
All right, Oscar, now it's up to you, buddy. Give the audience the proper introduction.
What's going on, people? This is Oscar Solis, the Monster First Man. And yes, I'm doing it again. And Leslie, this was for you, my friend. This was
That's right.
Yes, obviously, I'm Oscar Solis, one of the moderators. And, a little bit, of course, again, the Monsterverse Maniac lover himself. And, very excited, to be here with my fellow moderators as well as with Jordan, Celeste, and, of course, our special guest. And, of course, whoever's going to be watching this later on, of course, I hope you all enjoy it.
That's right. And so, right up, we have another special guest. He is a very near and dear close friend of mine, and that is one of, again, my best friends in the entire world. He's a brother to me, and that is my boy, Malik Watson. So let's get Malik up on the screen so he could give you guys, and even for all the viewers, a proper introduction.
Oh, sorry for that.
No, you're good, bro. You're good. So just let the people know, whoever's watching and stuff like that, let them know who you are, your name, et cetera, et cetera. And yeah, just a brief introduction of you, buddy.
All right, I'll keep this short and sweet. How you guys doing on this wonderful Saturday? This wonderful 420 for any of my potheads, for any potheads out there. My name is Malik. I pretty much don't have anything else to say except I like Godzilla. Who doesn't?
That's it. That's it.
Nice.
Keep it short and simple. I like that. All right. So obviously we're all here to discuss one movie, a movie that a lot of people have their own personal opinions on, whether it be good or bad. Nonetheless, we've been receiving, and as we Godzilla fans, I think we could say this with the utmost confidence, we've been receiving a lot more positive opinions on this rather than bad. And that is obviously where we'll be going in and discussing GXK, the new empire. So, really quick. We're gonna start off with both Christian and Celeste. How many times have you guys went out to see the movie?
We've only seen it twice right now, but I'm planning on getting tickets to go see it in 4D at some point, as we have a theater next to us. So,
lucky.
Haven't had too much time to go see it, but I promise you, we will be watching it again at some point.
That's cool. It's always better to watch in a 4D too. Oh my god!
Heck yeah! So, my first 4D was -1, so I'm thinking this was pretty awesome.
Okay. So, Oscar, what about you, man? How many times have you gone and seen the movie already?
Well, unfortunately, I only got to see it once. I'm planning on seeing it next week, this coming weekend. Again, and hopefully I can give myself that Godzilla, silver tin where you can put your snacks or popcorn in there.
Yes.
That where it looks like he scanned that. If it's there, obviously I'm gonna get it. If not, it's fine. I'll still watch the damn movie once again. Every Godzilla movie I've seen in theaters, I've only seen it once. I'm always trying to see it again, but unfortunately I never do. But hopefully one time I will.
All
We'll
right.
see.
I got faith in you. We'll watch it for the second time, buddy.
Thank
All
you.
right. Malik, how many times have you gone seen the movie already?
Unfortunately, I only seen it once. But uh, I plan on seeing it after my semester ends in roughly around 3 weeks. I'm hoping there's some theaters that are showing it when I have a little bit more free time. But yeah, I have only seen this movie once.
All right, all right. So, oh my God, I feel like I'm the only one that's watched it, I guess, more than twice. So I've seen it 3 times already. All within literally the opening weekend. I saw it the pre-show on Thursday. I went to go see it Friday. It's supposed to be 3 days in a row. Unfortunately, Saturday I caught a stomach bug. So that jacked me up for Saturday, but it was not going to stop me on Sunday. And that was the day I went to go see it with my family, or at least my mom and my brothers. This weekend, I'm going to go try to see it for the 4th time with my grandparents because it's been a while since I took them to see a movie. If anything, the last time I went to take them to see a movie was Skull Island.
Wow.
So it's going to be at least my grandfather. My grandfather don't go nowhere. So that was the last time I went to take him to see a movie. It was Skull Island. I've tried to take him because he's a Kong fan, so I tried to take him to see Godzilla versus Kong, and he avoided me the entire time the movie was out to not see it. And I'm like, nah, come on, bro, come on. He's like, nah, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. I don't care, I don't care. I'm like, yo. So I am I'm more confident that I'm gonna take him to see this one. I promised him that I was gonna do it the weekend that the movie originally came out, but yeah, so hopefully this weekend coming up, I'll be able to take him, and it's gonna be a blast regardless. All right. So the first question I want to ask you guys, and this goes for everybody that's here, all right, including our special guests. Um, the number one King Kong is oh my God, Nathaniel.
Get that away from me. I don't want to.
Oh my God.
Turn around.
Okay, I love you again, Nathaniel.
So really quick, Eric, the bearded kaiju, what's going on, baby? Too sweet.
Where?
So
Let's
this is a personal. Oh my God, this is Josh. What's going on, Josh?
Oh, God.
So this is a personal question that I know everybody's gonna have a different answer to. What made you starting off with? Let's do Oscar. We're gonna start off with Oscar, and we're gonna go literally from the bottom all the way up. All right, and then I'll answer it. Oscar, what made you into a Godzilla fan?
Well, obviously, the first official Godzilla film I watched on VHS, and I still have it to this day. It's in storage, unfortunately. It's Godzilla 2000, and it was actually it wasn't if it wasn't for my parents that got me the VHS. Because obviously, I grew up, as a kid, playing with trains and other stuff, and then slowly into dinosaurs, and then Godzilla. Godzilla 2000, still to this day, in my top 10, no, actually top 5 Godzilla films of all time, because nostalgia, I'm being biased about it, but I love Godzilla 2000. Then as times go on, Bandai Creations was around, of course, early 2000s.
Yep.
And so Godzilla 2000, my first film, Millennium. Bio Goji, Godzilla vs. Biollante, my first Heisei Godzilla. And 85 at the same time, and 74 Mecha Godzilla. All those films came around the same time for me as a kid, and I loved it. And since then, obviously, I have this, which is only like one. Everything else is in storage. And obviously, if it wasn't for Godzilla 2000, I probably wouldn't have been a Godzilla fan, maybe until I probably was a bit older. But if not, I probably wouldn't be one because I love this stuff, and I obviously, of course, I could go on for hours and hours, but of course, I would still like to share and know everyone else's as well. But if it wasn't my parents and Godzilla 2000, I wouldn't be a Godzilla fan to this day.
That's awesome, Oscar. That is awesome. All right, we're gonna go with Celeste now. So even you too. So after Celeste, Christian, by all means, brother, go ahead and just let us know what made you into a Godzilla fan.
Yeah, so I mean, To be truthful honest, I know my first instances of even remembering Godzilla at a young age was my parents buying me like the figurine little packs. So it was my parents who actually they knew I was kind of a dinosaur kid, and my dad was the one who got me to watch. I want to say it was Raids Again. Not too sure on that, but they showed me those movies. I showed interest. They got me the toys, and literally just since then, it's just completely spiraled, out of control. The same with all the figures. I don't have my stuff out right now. It's another house, but I have some stuff here. But I've basically been a fan from a really young age. I had family members who were also into Godzilla. They would talk to me about it. They would always push me to see the other movies, and just it spiraled and it kept going. So I've watched Godzilla since I was just a child, basically. So kind of grew up with it. It was what I grew up with. Didn't have a lot of people to talk about it. So find community with like you guys here. I can sit here and talk about all these new movies coming out. It's awesome to have from growing up with nobody to talk to actually having a whole community. Thank you guys.
Listen, thank you for being a part of it,
Oh yeah.
Heck yeah.
Right, go right ahead, brother.
Oh yeah. So there's two separate instances. So the earliest memory I have of Godzilla, I was watching it. It came on, and it was me and my pops watching it. Funnily enough, as a Ghidorah fan, it was actually Mecha, the first appearance of Mecha Ghidorah.
Wow. Okay.
And for some reason, I'm just like, that is the dopest thing I've ever seen in my life. You're telling me this 3-headed dragon turned into a robot 3-headed dragon, and he's fighting this giant lizard guy who's blowing blue laser beams out of his mouth? That's insane.
Pretty much.
The second one, I had, funny enough, Godzilla 2000 on DVD, and I'm pretty sure I watched it 10, 11, 12 times when I was younger. And then, the big one was it the game Godzilla Godzilla
Destroy All Monsters Melee?
Destroy All Monsters Melee. Yeah, there you go. Of course, love that game. Megalon's my main, But,
okay.
Yeah,
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Around flat fan.
But yeah, that's how I got started, and then I kind of. It's continuing very happily, of course, with the Godzilla stuff.
That's awesome.
I pushed.
All right, Malik, by all means, brother, go right ahead. Malik, let us know what got you into becoming a Godzilla fan. I already know the story, but to obviously the Oscar, Celeste, and Christian, everybody else that's watching that doesn't know, let them know, brother.
Okay, so how I became a Godzilla fan is I was like 3 years old. I was at Walmart with my mom because my mom worked there. She took me to she was doing some errands, and we were towards the electronics section where the DVDs were, and I saw the 50th. This is the 50th anniversary TriStar DVD of Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 1974, and when I instantly locked eyes onto the DVD, and I just see this giant robot fighting this giant dinosaur, and I was like, oh mom, can we get that? And then that looks so cool. So there was also another movie that was right by it. It was the 33 King Kong film. So my mom bought both of those DVDs, and when we got home, she put on the movie. The earliest memory I have is just seeing fake Godzilla, unfortunately beating down Anguirus to the ground and stuff, and then Godzilla, all these other cool scenes. Gerardo would tell you, King Caesar actually gave me nightmares as a kid. Like the scene where he's sleeping in the rock. I could not look at that screen I couldn't look at that screen for the life of me. But yeah, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla was my introduction to Godzilla, and then right after that, we saw the original King Kong, and that's kind of what got me into like my passion, this obsession of giant monsters and figure collecting and stop motion and all this other stuff. But yeah, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla was the movie that that I have to blame for this addiction.
Yeah. Awesome.
It's funny because when I saw '74 Mechagodzilla for the first time, the movie, King Caesar just drew it. I was just instantly attached to King Caesar. I wasn't even afraid of King. Like, obviously, the monster that I was afraid of was the '62 Kong. I was like, yo, this guy's horrendous to look at. I can't even look. I have to look away from the TV. But to get back on track with the question, what made me into a Godzilla fan? I mean, listen, our parents was the stem for introducing us to God or to anything giant monster related.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
so for me, I was 2 years old when I was introduced to Godzilla, and my father at the time he was stationed in Iraq. So it was I had very at the time, like growing up, it wasn't until my fourth brother came in that my dad, he started, coming over more often and stuff like that. And then, he did his 6 7 years of being in the service and stuff like that. But again, 2 years old, um, practically not being able to recall who my dad is and stuff like that because he was out in the army. He was over at this time, and me and him we were just in the living room. And my dad was just flicking through the channels. So I'm literally sitting down, crisscross applesauce in the middle of the living room, looking at my dad flicking through the television, like as if it's a movie, So, and obviously, growing up, I love animals and dinosaurs. My favorite animal, and it's so funny. When I was 2 years old, I was introduced to my favorite animal, which is an elephant. And I loving dinosaurs, I never had a favorite dinosaur. There were so many cool varieties to choose from. So I've always, at that little kid mind, I was like, I don't got a favorite dinosaur. I like them all. So
Yeah.
then my dad stops flicking through the channels and he goes use the bathroom. Generally stops and it's like a commercial break, so I'm watching it. At the end of the commercial break, the screen fades to black. And I appreciate that, Nathaniel. Thank you very much. Um, the TV fades to black and it fades back into the actual picture. And literally the scene was from the side of Mount Fuji, Godzilla walking in to aid Mothra larva against King Ghidorah, and Ghidorah the three-headed monster.
All right.
After that, the rest was history. And the ironic enough that at that moment, so I'm like, as a kid watching TV, I'm like this, but then when Godzilla came out, I was like, right? So my dad comes back out of the bathroom and he's like, "Oh shit, it's Godzilla." I said, "Wait, what is this called?" And he says, "That's Godzilla, that's Rodan, that's Mothra, that's King Ghidorah." And the entire day, it was a Godzilla marathon.
Well,
Like,
lucky you.
yes. So I
Wow.
literally sat through the entire day, which my mom was pissed. She's like, "Too much TV is bad for him. Look what you're doing." But it was look where we're at right now. You know what I'm saying? Godzilla t-shirt, everything behind me is Godzilla. My entire arm's covered with Godzilla tattoos. So the rest was history. Um, so yeah, I guess shout out to our parents, for just not knowing intentionally the huge freaking passion we have for this and where we're at with it and everything. So
Yeah.
it's great hearing your guys' backstory on how we became Godzilla fans. It's so crazy because I'm gonna be honest. I don't hear a lot of people say that their first movie, that you recall, Celeste, was Raids Again. I've never heard people say that was their first introduction to Godzilla. Even you, Christian, for
Godzilla.
Godzilla versus
Oh,
King Ghidorah.
King
I've
Ghidorah.
never heard anybody say, "Oh, this is the first movie I was introduced to." So that's a shocker to me. So lucky
Yeah.
you guys, because that's definitely that's so different. Because most people would say like, "All right, Godzilla versus Megalon." Some people would say Mothra versus Godzilla. Like the
Even
classic like, Showa movies and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, Godzilla
but
98, Godzilla 2000. Like those like 4 films, or even Godzilla 84 or 85. Those,
mhm,
films.
Yeah.
So yeah.
it's crazy when oh my god. So when I got introduced to '98, I remember my dad put the VHS on in the TV. He's like, "Jody, look, Godzilla." I'm like, "I'm sorry, Papi, that's not Godzilla. Like this is trash."
Same. You know what the crazy thing is? You know, as a kid, ever since I've seen Godzilla 2000, in the middle of the night, whether it's past midnight or up to 3 or 4 in the damn morning, my parents, they would whisper in my ears like, Godzilla's on. And I kid you not, I kick out of the bed, I jump out. And if it's like Godzilla, I like, but sure enough, when I see it's Godzilla 90, I'm going back to sleep. And as I got older, I'm okay with it. It is Godzilla to me now. It's whatever. That's back in It's back in the past. Back in '98. Now we're in the 2024s. Now I call Godzilla '98 Godzilla. There, I said my piece. But still, those vivid memories I will always remember till the day I am gone, and I'll always bring it up with my friends or family. You know, whenever it comes out this stuff. It was just a lot of fun.
Yes. All right. So now that we got the little personal stuff out of the way, now we're getting straight. Every question after this is going to be straight from. It's basically everything's going to be about the movie. All right. So, we're going to start from the top, Malik, all the way down. All right. So,
Okay.
and then I'll be the last one to answer. What were your thoughts on this movie? All right. I know, really quick. I know there's gonna be a lot that you'd want to bring up, but again, this is the second question. I have literally 9 more, so whatever
Yeah.
your thoughts are, it might stem from a question. So if I notice it, I'll be like, wait, we're gonna get to there. We're gonna get there. All right. So by all means, go right
Okay.
ahead.
Okay. What I thought about this movie, I thought this movie was really great. It was really fun. It was funny. One of the funniest MonsterVerse films, hands down. Uh, you know, obviously the human plot a little bit more a little bit more tolerable than a lot of especially since they returned from GVK. They were much more enjoyable, except for I can't even think of her name, but the scientist chick, Gia's mother, and
Yeah.
Gia. I'm still not a big fan of those two characters, but I really enjoyed the film. It definitely gave me that kiddie feeling of watching Godzilla again for like the first time. The Showa inspiration really really lived and breathed through this film.
Absolutely.
Uh, the the soundtrack, little generic for my taste, but when they had like this playing, oh, hype, beautiful. The monster fight, the action, amazing. And yeah, overall, I think this movie was a really, really enjoyable movie. If you haven't seen it, I would definitely recommend, try, free up some time in the busy schedule and pick a weekend to watch it. You will not be disappointed.
All right. Good job, Malik. All right, Oscar, you go ahead, brother.
All
Let
right. Well, as for me, for GXK, I already know what the film was gonna be. Obviously, from the first teaser trailer with Scar King, if it was serious or just shut your brain off, enjoy the film, whichever. I'm still gonna enjoy it, whether it's the MonsterVerse, Toho, or any other era, newer era, whatever. I'm still gonna enjoy the film. For GXK itself, I love it. Yes, music. Some of the soundtracks pretty good, are really good. Some not the best, but still enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
The and characters, obviously, Gia, beautiful job from GVK and GXK. What's her name? Dr. Andrews. Dr. Andrews, her mom, her mom. I liked her better in GVK. GXK, all right, but I still prefer her better than the other film.
Mm-hmm.
Bernie, he was more. Well, obviously, I didn't care. Again, I'm. This reminds me all about Showa, but Bernie's his character. Yeah, he was a bit annoying in GVK. GXK, I actually liked him a little bit more. Trapper, I liked him. He's a freaking dentist. He's a damn Titan vet. Yeah, like I don't know how, but like I love Trapper. He was out there. He was like the Ace Ventura, pet detective, but Titan detective. Like I love that guy. And of course the Titans, obviously, a lot more action. Yes, more focused on Kong. I don't mind it. Godzilla. Whoa. What can I say? I love the evolution. I don't know. Well, I do want to talk about his evolved form, or unless that's a question.
Oh, so yes, that is a question. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll talk about that a little bit later then. Obviously, Shimo, Scar King, obviously, we'll get to those later on, but I love them. And one specific Titan, I would say the name, but I mean, I can, right? I mean, if it's gonna be already, obviously, everyone's seen the movie, so I'm just gonna say it.
Anybody that is clicking to watch this and hasn't seen the movie, I don't think they will know what the monster is, because I mean, Oscar, go right ahead, bro.
Mothra made a damn return, and I will obviously get a deep dive, discussion about Mothra. Obviously,
yes, which that is another question.
Okay, good, because obviously, and of course a bit of a, another I guess you could say backstage thing where, well, I'll wait until the question. So yeah, I love the whole thing. Human characters, yeah, not the best, but honestly, I like them a little bit more on some parts, some of them not so much, but still really enjoyable. Scar King, Shimo, Godzilla, Mothra, Kong, the other Tiamat, Sifla, and hopefully I say the name right. Really loved it. Balls to the walls, fun action. Just shut your brain off and enjoy it.
That's right. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, that's all you got to do.
Moment. It's at the moment.
It's a great escapism film.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Celeste, Christian, Laura.
That's right.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay, I'll let you go first about it.
Yeah. So,
I feel like it's going to get a lot of people pissed off.
I'm just going to say it is the funnest thing I've seen all year. Oh my goodness, it was a trip. Like, the human character, the aspects of it and everything, it was actually interesting. I like how they did it. You actually, wanted to figure out what was going on with what they were doing for the first time versus just going like, oh, show me more of the monsters. And then we finally get it. We get more of the monsters. The monsters take the main stage finally. And it was worth every single frame. Oh my goodness. Like, just, I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's a great movie. If anyone hasn't seen it, go watch it immediately after the stream. Shout out my boy Doug, Titanus Doug, the GOAT.
Oh yeah.
I forgot about that for a second. He was my favorite, guys. He was my favorite in that movie.
Oh my god, that's something new. Okay.
He deserved more screen time, guys. In my opinion, that was the only wrong thing with that movie. Titanus Doug needed more screen time.
Justice Titanus Doug. I love it.
I'm gonna jump in real quick. The way Doug looked in the film, I swear to God, when he was looking, after when he got the food, it reminded me of my own dog, Luna. She just had that same face when Doug has, like, oh, that's adorable. But
so funny. He was. I'm just saying, he has to come back for the next one. But but yeah, for this movie though, yeah, I absolutely loved it. I hadn't even realized at first when I first saw it that I had heard some people mentioning the whole show era, and it didn't even like come to mind when I first watched it. Mm-hmm. So watching it the second time and just seeing it over, I think that was just absolutely awesome how they kind of tethered from what they did back in the day to now. And like you guys were saying, I liked the human characters. I love the plot about it. I was a little iffy, but I still did really enjoy it. But also just the screen time with the monsters in this movie a little bit longer than the last few times where we were kind of just hoping to see them a little bit more. And this time, I mean, it was full out there. It was monsters basically the whole movie, which was absolutely amazing. But I love what they're going, the way they're going with these movies, how they're kind of just taking reference from back in the day and putting their own spin on it. And like you guys were saying, the music, I did actually surprisingly really like the way they did that, how he was kind of saying it was a rock opera. I thought that was pretty awesome. But like as a whole, I did really love that movie. It was one of my favorites. I actually got emotional. I was sitting there like tearing up in the theater. Wow. I did that the last few times. The first time I saw them, I don't know what it is, but just you know, being a fan for so long and seeing all these new iterations is just so awesome to see how they're doing it. So
oh my god, That's listen, I'm gonna be honest, you two are the first people that I've heard actually enjoy the human cast in this movie. I've never heard that from anybody else. Um, so I mean, granted, that was another question about I guess I could still ask that question, but for me, my thoughts of this movie, it was it was definitely a roller coaster of a ride. Now, me and Malik, we've talked about it a little bit more. And this is before I even became a moderator for you guys. Um, there were a bunch of leaks coming out in regards to what the movie was going to be. Now, mind you, I didn't know anything about the leaks. I was avoiding them as much as I could, up until like the first trailer, and then a whole bunch of ocean of like pictures, leak footages of the actual movie, the Titans in it, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But like in terms of the plot, I avoided it as much as I could. I'm not gonna lie. Seeing the first trailer and then obviously seeing it being in another, Kong based movie and Godzilla was just going to be the secondary character in it. It kind of pissed me off a bit, because it's just like I know whoever's in there who's a Kong fan, y'all gonna be like, oh my god, this guy really doesn't like Kong. I'm sorry, this is preferably as a kid growing up, I never found anything interesting about Kong whatsoever. But that's a whole nother that's a whole nother live stream for another day. But but just like for me, I was just like, oh, okay, whatever. But then as I'm seeing like they even like the other TV spots, then introducing Kong with the gauntlet and all this other stuff, and then seeing like Godzilla evolved, and then the rumors of other monsters that were going to be in, and I'm like, okay, maybe this isn't something that I thought I was going to be able to walk into with the expectations of what I originally had. So when I came out, I was just like, oh my god, this is. And one of the critics said it, I forgot who it was, but it was literally walking in and out from like watching a WWE show.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
like
Yeah.
I went in there. So the first time I went to go see it with my fiance, and mind you, like her introduction to Godzilla came from me. So before then, I asked her, I was like, decided to find out if she was going to be the one for me. I just gotta be honest. So I said, I was like, do you know anything about Godzilla? And she goes, well, yeah, the one that went to New York, right? I'm like,
Oh
oh,
well,
okay.
close. Well,
So, so wait. So then I'm like, I'm asking because in the first, how no, I asked her that, but before then I asked, okay, I gotta ask you a question, Godzilla or Kong? And she said, I prefer Godzilla. And I said, okay, you're my forever. Hence the reason why I got this. All right. But she came in my room, she saw the collection, she's like, oh my God. Like she became a fan of not just Godzilla, but just like of the entire lore of tokusatsu and kaiju because of, like what she has seen with me and what she had experienced with me via conventions, interacting with other people within the community, movies. And so this one is the only movie that I see her continuously jumping out of her seat, marking out for, because it was just like I said in earlier about my opinion, it was a roller coaster of a ride, a huge amount to the Showa era, which I loved. Now personally, I would prefer to have, if I was to be in charge of the script, I would make the movie a little bit more different. Even if the director was like, okay, this has to be Kong's story, I think I would have fixed in a few other elements to make the movie a little bit better and stuff like that. Um, but nonetheless, it was definitely a movie that beated my expectations in such a phenomenal way. So now following with that, the other question I had, which everybody, you guys pretty much gave your guys' opinions on this specific subject, and that is, what who was your favorite protagonist and why? Hold on.
Man.
What did Malachi say? Question for all. How was seeing Godzilla win an award along with your favorite movie and why? Off topic, but would like to know. I, I don't I don't understand that question, Malachi.
wait.
I think he's referring to -1 winning an Oscar plus.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my bro. I will send you. I know who Malachi is. He was my ex coworker, a very good friend of mine. I will send you, bro, my reaction of when -1 won a freaking
We
Oscar, bro.
us did our own little reaction. So yeah,
Yes.
Definitely
yes.
now.
So, so the next question I have, the third question I have for you guys, which all of you guys have pretty much already given you guys' opinion. Who was your favorite protagonist and why? Do you guys feel like you guys answered that question, or is that something that you guys would like to answer?
Um,
I
mean,
think we do.
All right. So
Yeah.
we are going to start again, bottom all the way up, and then I'll be the last one to answer the question. So, Celeste, Christian, go right ahead.
So for protagonist, I just monster wise. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the characters. Bernie was one of my favorites. I know Oscar was saying he was a little annoying, and I too totally get that. Sometimes it was a little much, but at the same time, kind of like the energy a little bit. It seemed like
Mhm.
it was a slight bit toned down, yet more in this movie. So I did think he was still from a very fun character, as well as Trapper. I don't know about that too. Like I saw him come on the screen and just the way he was, I just thought he was so funny and was a great addition to that movie. And then I can't help. I am absolutely in love with Shimu. Uh, absolutely love the character. I felt so bad in that movie, like seeing all the chains and everything. I just
Yes, yep, yep. And
yeah.
we're gonna get to her in a few too. So hold your thoughts on that big girl because
Gotcha.
ooh, right. So Christian, go right ahead.
Yeah, human characters wise, I mean, Bernie and Trapper could come back for the next movie, and I'd enjoy their energy. You know, I mean, I feel like they're gonna have great chemistry in the next movie if they come back. For the monsters, funny enough, yeah, no, it was also Shimu. You know, it's the transition. You see it like a Titan in you know captivity and all that, and towards the
Mhm.
tail end of the movie, you finally see everything, and it's basically another one of Godzilla's dogs, but for fun time. But yeah, she was gonna be my favorite character in this movie. My favorite antagonist turned protagonist. I guess I don't know.
I guess like
I would say protagonist. You know, like
yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
pro antagonist, whichever. Yeah, I mean, she was, trapped. So
yeah.
Very much.
But I do like Shumu a lot.
Hell yeah.
All right, Oscar, go right ahead, bud.
well, human characters, of course. Gia still stole the movie, even though I wish there was more interactions with her and Kong and with Mothra. And it's crazy how Godzilla and Gia right there. I'm like, holy crap, is she gonna be able to touch him? Like, there's
Yeah.
God, I'm like I don't know, something in my head, like, oh, he's gonna let her touch her or something. Like, he's gonna, let her, put his hands on his face or whatever. Like, Sarazawa, like, holy crap. And obviously, Trapper, love this character. And you know what? Yeah, I completely forgot. Bernie and Trapper, they had like a little, somewhat bro connection where they're just like they're the comedy what the hell what is it, the comedy really comedy relief characters.
Yeah, yep.
And,
Comic relief, yep.
monster character wise, obviously Kong, main character, he was the main star of it. But yes, I would also agree, as well with Shimo. She was kept trapped for who knows how long, and finally, seeing her expression being free, like I felt like I could feel that for her. Like she can see that, face, glowing up, not because of Godzilla, but like she's like finally free, like.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love now. Obviously, I would, I love Shima, but she is actually in my top 10, favorite Titans right now. Well, actually 5 right now. So
Wow. Okay.
exactly, but she's briefly done well, like design and everything. But of course, we'll get more into that in the other questions. But yeah, Malik.
So I pretty much kind of agree with everybody in terms of like Bernie and Trapper. Definitely, they were the most enjoyable characters throughout the whole movie. I may be in the minority of it, but I really didn't care about Gia and Gia's mother and stuff like that. I'm really not big fans of their character, so I really didn't care for them. But Bernie and Trapper, that's the dynamic duo. I hope they return. And the sequel to this movie, the energy and how they bounced off of each other was perfect. In terms of monster wise, there's only one name. There's only one Godzilla. Godzilla was the even though that he had was like a cameo, like a Stanley cameo. He was the star of the show. In my opinion, he stole everything. He was on demon timing. He was about that smoke. I love Godzilla in this movie. It was so good. He was threatening, so powerful, really showing us the audience once again. He's king. He's king. Nobody's taking that title from him. Kong, his characterization, I really liked it. I'm not gonna lie, I really liked it. I like where the direction they're going with Kong, especially this is not just Godzilla's legacy that this movie's holding, but it's holding Kong's legacy. Comparing him from how he was in the 33 movie to how he is now, this is like, in my opinion, in terms of like character development, one of the a pretty good character development and character arc. Him and Suko's relationship, basically like Kratos and Atreus. It was so fun to watch. The villains. I'm gonna wait until the I'm gonna wait until the later questions to talk about the villains because yeah.
We're going.
Uh,
All right. For me personally, I mean, and this is something that we're really, I guess, often familiar with within the recent years of the MonsterVerse. I wasn't that much of a fond fan of the human cast. I will, and even it's believe it or not, even in GVK, like I, I from I guess I could say, yeah, like after King of the Monsters, I was just like, oh my god, like what are they doing with these human casts? And like, I mean, look what happened in 2014. One of the most hyped human protagonists in that movie, they killed off just like that in Bryan Cranston. Which it was a waste of I was wasted. And then coming back from that, we have Ken Watanabe, who was playing the son of Dr. Shirazawa, killed him in the second movie. Which those are characters for me that I'm like, what? This could be so much lore based, you know, given verbally through these two individuals just to be killed off like that. I'm like, oh my god, now we're stuck with these freaking knuckleheads. I'm like, get the hell out of here with this shit. That's just me. So even going through Godzilla versus Kong, the same thing. I was sick and tired of everybody, including the newer cast and stuff like that. Um, Following this movie, despite me not having that type of interaction, or that type of appreciation to them as how I did in GVK, I have to give Gia her well-earned respect because I remember watching Skull Island and oh my god, what are the oh my god, I keep on forgetting names. What are the natives? The Iwi
The
tribe. So for me, looking at them, and I noticed a lot of people during that time too also looked at them as this as well. Like I never viewed them as like the natives of Kong. I've always tied them to Mothra some way. So seeing that they came back in this movie and they were all tied within Mothra and Gia being one of them, I'm like, oh my god. And obviously giving her like the type of shinobi Jin twin type vibe and stuff like that with her relation with Mothra and stuff like that. That was a complete 180 of a change for me, for her specifically, with her character development. Like everyone's talking about, oh, we kind of wish we saw a little bit of more with her and Kong interacting and stuff like that, especially seeing a lot of that in GVK. I saw a much more bigger picture in her role in this movie rather than to just freaking scratch behind the freaking ear of freaking Kong type shit. I was just like, listen, she is a much more bigger role in this movie than she was previously. I give her my utmost respect for that. And so that's just my opinion with it. Do I want them to recast the same individuals in this movie to come back in the next one? Me personally, no. I think the only person that we will probably see, which I think ties into a possible lore to what we can get later on in the future, is the vet. That's it, But so now that you guys were talking about, Titans and stuff like that, more so specifically, Shimo, who was your favorite Titan in this movie? So we're
Ooh.
gonna do a little random. So we're gonna go. I guess yeah. Again, top. I mean top to bottom, bottom to top. So Malik, go right ahead, bro, and then just free ball it.
All
Go
right.
right
My
ahead.
my favorite Titan, Godzilla. Absolutely Godzilla. I love Godzilla in this film. With the little screen time we had with him, talk about impact.
Mm,
I seeing him since because we haven't seen him absorb radiation like he did since like '84, but seeing it in like with modern technology and CGI, like seeing him actively like suck the radiation, and then him expanding that energy, and then him fighting Tiamat, Skyla, and all them. Oh my God, he was so cool in this film. He was just he was so awesome. He had that Final Wars energy. He tapped into his past self. He was not playing.
he did.
Godzilla was Godzilla was a monster in this film, and I liked the little scene he had in Egypt when Mothra came back, and they had the little thing, basically obviously Mothra had to break up the fight because a
Mm-hmm.
certain hairy individual was going to lose his life again. Let's just say.
Rightfully. Let's just admit, rightfully so.
Yeah,
Because
he was gonna listen. I could go on, but yeah, it's the scene when they both go into Hollow Earth, and that scene from the trailer when they're running, it was worth seeing how Godzilla was moving in like the zero gravity of Hollow Earth. That was something I wanted to see since GVK. They definitely delivered. He was moving around. The suplex he did the Kong was insane. Godzilla took the cake for this movie, in my opinion.
all right, so let's go right ahead.
Gotcha. Yeah. So, yeah, I have to agree with Malik. Just Godzilla, all in all, like I love Shimo. She's my second first favorite character, but Godzilla and Shimo, just I love them. Blew me away in this movie. And like you were saying, to see Godzilla just suck the radiation, like we haven't seen that in a long while, and to see him be able to actually do that and like kind of power up, just kind of reminded me of like the olden days, and it's it. I just love to see it, and then the way just I know people kind of had a problem with the pink spikes, but kind of had it in the past, and I just thought it was a really cool that the way they made him look going from the start to see how he changed into what he did. I absolutely loved that redesign. I thought it was actually really cool. But Shimochu as well, and then Jordan, kind of like you were saying, I never really had too big of an interest in Kong growing up. I did see the movies. I just didn't fall in line as much as I like Godzilla with it. But I actually really did like his character in this movie. But I think my favorite would have to be both Godzilla and Shimo for these ones.
Nice. Mine is Ghidorah 64. No, I'm almost wrong. Um, honestly, I would say it's hard not to like Kong as like my favorite in here just because he has an actual storyline. Godzilla is more of a cameo side character. He's basically becoming Saitama at this point. One Punch Man, a little too OP. I'm getting a little worried about that. But all the stuff Kong did, I would probably say he was my favorite Titan overall in the movie.
Okay.
Especially with the scene with what he did with Zuko. And then the little shout out they did to the Godzilla versus Kong, original Godzilla versus Kong movie where they finally give him the Beast Glove and then lightning. Awesome! I was freaking out. So I would say Kong and then Shimu close second.
All right. Oscar, take it away, buddy.
Well, obviously, I'll say my main favorite Titan, but I gotta give some love to Tiamat. For those
okay, I respect that. I like it.
Yeah. For those that may or may not know who the hell Tiamat is, well, she was actually another Alpha Titan that fought Godzilla in Godzilla Dominion. And if you look at both the movie and the comic, the book, Tiamat had a different design in the book,
Yeah.
the movie, and of course, obviously, you look down, look deep into it. Tiamat, evolved because of, the power that she was absorbing over in the Antarctica,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I mean, she was just a really badass, and I can't wait to have figures of her. But obviously, yes, Godzilla. Godzilla, like, he just really was a badass. And yes, you know what? I'm just gonna say this right now. I'm still gonna wait for that Godzilla question about how his design looks. But yes, Godzilla doing a damn suplex on Kong. I don't know why. Back of my head, who was it saying? Taz. One of the announcers, Taz. He's saying like, "Watch out, watch out, watch out!" And it just kept going in back. And what's up, Joe? So that happened, and sure enough, Godzilla, pretty much, swimming. Well, pretty much, yeah, swimming in through the gravity fields, was pretty badass. Yes, Godzilla absorbing the radiation from the nuclear power plant. When I first saw that, I had chills. Like, I was like, yes, we finally get to see Godzilla actually, besides 84. And I would say Mega Gearus, but he actually destroyed the building, not actually absorbed it. But we actually get to see him absorb radiation, and that was pretty damn cool. I'm like, wow, I love that. And of course, I love, well, Jordan, by any chance, is there a question about favorite moments in the film?
No.
Oh, okay, well, maybe I'll probably ask that question by the end of the show. But seeing Godzilla actually sleeping in Rome twice, and of course, I don't know if some of y'all may know or not, but Godzilla actually, when he sees the Rome Coliseum, it somewhat reminds him of his previous home, which was unfortunately destroyed back in 2019 because his temple was like ancient, like Greek, Rome.
Yeah.
Everything was built around it. Like, it was pretty damn cool. And I would hate to say, I don't, even though it's it's weird for me saying it, but I would say it's adorable actually seeing Godzilla going back into Rome Coliseum and just taking a nap. Because honestly, I would feel the same way. Me getting up for work, even though I don't want to, I have to get stuff done, and of course I would go back to sleep. That's how I Godzilla, how he sleeps is how I feel. At it.
Come back from work.
But yeah, Tiamat, gotta give her good shout out because yeah, she was obliterated, unfortunately. I would have loved more screen time, but the way they were somewhat building her up when when Godzilla was heading towards her, I was like, holy crap. But nonetheless, Tiamat and Godzilla, really cool. Yes, I do love Shima as well, but I gotta obviously put Tiamat out there for sure, and obviously yes, Godzilla as well. But yeah, Jordan.
So, I mean, it's pretty obvious, you guys. Y'all already know who my fucking favorite Titan was in this entire movie. And it sure as hell wasn't no freaking overgrown simp of an ape neither. All right? It was Godzilla. All right? Oh my God. We've seen the movie. Even if we only got to see it one time, this movie's been installed in our brain to recall everything Godzilla has done in this movie. Adrian, fuck that. But Godzilla, for me, like, there's Godzilla, the character Godzilla. You could do so much with the character, obviously given to the right hand, and it could fucking work. All right. There's so much room to develop new different concepts for the character, and they did that in this movie, and it worked to his favor in so many levels. One of the for me, my favorite moment, or I guess another key element as to why Godzilla, my boy, he already knows, bro. So for me, the moment that really made me remember why I loved Godzilla so much, And especially like we've seen this established a lot more in the MonsterVerse continuously is like that one-on-one interacting moment, whether if it's somebody that he's gunning for to freaking kill, or where if it's like some not sympathy, but more like an emotional connection. Obviously referencing,
Yeah.
him and Mothra. And I know a lot of people like, they make their little jokes about it and stuff like that, have their opinions on it. But it's just like, listen, you can't be the king of the monsters without a queen. All right.
Mhm.
Now, you don't need to obviously have no type of relations to be called queen of the monsters, because look it took for her to just just show up to convince Godzilla not to kill Kong. That to me speaks volumes. And then seeing his reaction when coming across Mothra again after obviously, her being murked by Ghidorah in 2019 and stuff like that. That was the moment that made me freaking cry like a little baby. Even my fiance, she was just like, I'm like, bro, I'm right there with you. Like, it was such a, for me, like, for Godzilla's standpoint, it was such a beautiful moment. Because we don't get that a lot, you know what I'm saying? The only time we really get, like a sympathetic Godzilla is when it's Godzilla interacting with either, Minya, Little Godzilla, Godzilla Jr., you know what I'm saying? Like, we've seen that type of sympathetic side of him, and I didn't think we were ever going to get that again. Um, so to see that when Mothra came back and seeing how, in moments, especially when Godzilla was going up against Shimo in Hollow Earth, how they would kind of team up again to like try to, stop Shimo for, trying to be the successor and going up against, Godzilla, was just like, oh my God, this is what I love. You know what I'm saying? So that was, for me, obviously one of my favorite Titans in the movie. The design wise, amazing, but we're gonna get right to it. Did you enjoy watching Godzilla or Evolved Godzilla going WWE in GXK?
Oh,
So we're going to do something different. So Malik, you're going to start. After you, Malik, it goes Celeste and Christian, Oscar, and then myself.
Ah, Godzilla. We need more scenes like that where he's doing. I want to see Godzilla do the RKO in the next film. He better
Oh
do it.
my
I want to see that. I gotta see that. That scene of the suplex lives rent free in my head ever since I seen that movie. It was. It's like one thing that like kind of like baffles me is like this is no shade to Kong fans. You could like who you like, but at the same time, I'm like, yo, you see Godzilla do all the stuff. He's flown. He's did an impossible drop kick. He literally fell from space and survived. Fought space versions of himself, and now he's suplexing people. What else? What can he not do? What can he not do? He's there's a reason why they call him the King of the Monsters. I love that scene. That scene was the highlight of that film. Besides the other highlights, like the Hollow Earth fight and then the final fight in Rio, just him really going to town and really like showing the acrobatics was very well needed, and especially for like the MonsterVerse incarnation of the character who has had a lot of like good stuff happen to him. I'm like, this is a great step in the right direction in my
Mhm.
opinion.
All right, so let's go right ahead.
Okay, shoot. So I want to start off by saying really quickly. So from where I used to live, when I would go see those movies, like not a lot of people would always go and see them. So stuff like that, kind of go unnoticed. But getting to see it now and having like a lot of people, the theater was packed. It was so amazing to see. As someone who actually like, because I know you guys are very into WWE. Someone
Yes.
who just recently
Yeah.
started to watch it a little bit more as he's been showing it to me. Seeing that and just seeing everybody's emotions as to when it happened was I was not expecting it, and it was just absolutely it was mind blowing to me. But I loved it. I thought it was great, and seeing all the reactions and hearing everybody just start laughing, and you can hear people clapping. I just thought it was amazing. I'm so glad that they had put that in the movie.
Yes.
I would hope in the future we would have him learn some more moves and do him on kaijus in the future. I'm hoping. Here's to hoping for that. But it was one of my favorites, and as somebody who's just starting to watch WWE and stuff like that, that was pretty amazing to see. So yeah, I absolutely love
You
that.
have no idea how much stuff you're gonna watch when it comes to WWE, WWF, TNA, AEW, all that
It's
stuff.
so much. Yes.
Especially the old school stuff with Brock Lesnar, Goldberg, Kane, Undertaker, so on and so forth. But yes,
I love it. Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to see more of that. So, you guys, if you have any recommended fights from WWE, just let me know.
Oh, we're gonna send a shitload of you in the group chat. Oh,
I'll be ready. I'll have a whole day watching them.
If we get a lot of notifications, we'll know why.
yeah.
That sounds good. I'll let you know how I think about it. Oh god.
I was absolutely stunned. Listen, man, I was not expect Godzilla suplexing fucking Kong was not in my cards for 2024.
It wasn't.
It was everything I didn't know I wanted and needed in my life. I was just like, oh, cool. He rounded into the pyramid. Boom. All right, cool. And then I'm like, there's no fucking. Is that a? It was amazing. The crowd going wild at the same time. Everyone freaking out over what they just saw. Whoa. Okay. No. Insane. Loved it. Every moment of it. I could talk about this forever. I watched that clip every single day at least twice. I'll pass it to the next person. That was awesome.
All right, Oscar. Let us know.
All right. Obviously, Godzilla doing a suplex. Yes, it's in everyone's minds. And you know what? If there's any other damn moves I would love to see Godzilla and the Monsterverse do, if you a damn chokeslam, a kaiju, a titan runs towards it, he grabs it by the throat, he chokeslam and boom. And hell, even though it's been done once, this Godzilla could do it. A damn tail drop kick, not
Yes.
a kangaroo, and a damn kangaroo can do it. A damn Godzilla can do it too. Plain and simple. Yes, even though it sounds crazy and stupid, but you know what? Forget it. And that's another thing too, because with Godzilla Evolved, yes, Godzilla's pink. Yeah, he's shiny pink, purple colors. He's much thinner. He has he's a lot slimmer. He has spikes, elbow spikes like Gamera. He has a damn Thagomizer like a Stegosaurus. And you know what? Ever since I've heard people talking about his design, I've been wanting to do this for for who knows how long. I guess pretty much ever since the trailer came out for his new design. I'm glad it's here. Pretty much, each and every Godzilla design is very different. We have 54. We have Son of Godzilla's design. We have 55. We have 62, 75, 74, 73, 84, 95, 94. 94, 93, 98, whatever. But with Godzilla Evolve, each Godzilla is different. Like even Godzilla Earth, we all love our every Godzilla design, and there's always gonna be that one design that we like the most. And yes, but you know what? If you people do not like pink, freaking Evolved Godzilla, then you can just kiss my ass, because you know what? Godzilla did a damn on Kong on a damn pyramid. He pretty much he was swimming through a damn gravity field, or hell, even some people think he was flying in the damn gravity field. He let Kong, ride on his damn back for a short period of time, and he did his own damn version of a Final Flash from Dragon Ball Z, but purple style.
Awesome.
Now that shit right there, I love that so much. And yes, I would have loved to have seen Godzilla, really rip out, Scar King so badly. And I'm very happy that he actually did not kill Shimo, because I feel like no, that if they kill Shimo in this film, especially seeing seeing her in the film, like, man, I swear they better not kill Shimo, because again, Shimo and Titanosaurus, they were in the same damn situation. They were brainwashed. Godzilla just knocked over Titanosaurus to the ocean. He woke his ass up, and Titanosaurus is back asleep in the ocean. Shimo is back in the Hollow Earth with a new family, and that's it. So yes, Godzilla evolved. Loved his design. Love that we got to see his radiation. We saw a damn suplex city on, with with Godzilla and Kong. Yes, the Godzilla and Mothra interaction, and even with Gia in there. Like again, I feel like back like, oh my gosh, touch Godzilla right there. But I was just I loved it so much. But yes, again, if y'all don't like Godzilla's evolved evolution or Pink Godzilla, then kiss my ass, because you know what? It's my, we all have our own favorite designs.
Yes.
Godzilla design, whatever, but yes, I think
Preach,
that's pretty much
Oscar.
everything.
Preach.
But yes, I'm not Godzilla. It's Godzilla evolved. Yes, so Jordan, it's all yours.
Oh, listen, do I need to really say anything more about my feelings for Godzilla going WWE? Oh my God. Like, and there's a lot of things you guys pointed out too that can be possibly done by this specific Godzilla incarnation, like the drop kick. I was waiting for that. I told Michelle throughout the entire movie, listen, or before going into the movie, I told her, listen, if it's not even if, it's when. When Godzilla does the fucking drop kick, I'm fucking throwing the popcorn midair and I'm fucking marking out. I do not care. Unfortunately, we didn't get that, but that's something that can be realistically done for this specific incarnation of Godzilla. And it's Godzilla so animated in this, and the way how just obviously the overall anatomy, the design of it is just again a complete 180 from what we would normally, would be used to seeing in Godzilla. Like for like this looks like something that a fan had taken so much time and effort to make, just to post up on Instagram to be like, hey, this is what I made. And then the freaking pic gets like thousands of fucking likes and comments and stuff like that. That's what I loved about this specific Godzilla design. Oh my God. Like, Christian, you hit the nail in the coffin. Seeing Godzilla suplex Kong was not something that I thought I was ever going to see in my entire life. Well, it didn't even have to be fucking Kong. It could have been any other Titan, but that's something I would have never expected to see Godzilla do. But again, this is the most animated we've seen Godzilla in fucking years. All right. And then obviously, finding out, within a week after the movie's initial release date from the director, Adam Wingard, that Godzilla's evolved form was obviously an inspiration to that of Goku's Kaioken.
Yep.
All right. So this is literally like, if there is any, and for me, if there is any way that I could make a Godzilla anime and grab any of the modern Godzillas to represent a proper anime Godzilla, this is the motherfucker I'm gonna go
What's the
for.
first Godzilla, hands down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's no other Godzilla that could even come close to this shit. All right.
Yeah.
What he had done throughout the entire, even before he freaking, devoured the energy from fucking Tiamat. Seeing the opening scene where freaking Godzilla's going up against Skyla, just jumping mid-air to fucking just wail on, fucking Skyla, to then literally do the fucking kiss of death again all over, and just seeing that whole choreograph of how that fight was, even throughout, every other scene we would see Godzilla in afterwards, including the evolved form, was just so animated, so, I don't want to say out of his character, because everything about Godzilla is out of his character, but we don't, because that's what we love about Godzilla. All right,
the versatility of him is amazing.
yes, absolutely. So I know we're talking a lot about obviously Godzilla and stuff like that, and I know I couldn't go without asking this question, because unfortunately, with what I'm about to say, it is the God honest truth, and is the only truth to this. This movie was directed for one Titan and one Titan only, and that of Kong. So I am going to ask you guys. It's gonna be we're gonna do We're gonna do in this order: Celeste, Oscar, Malik, Christian, and then I'll again be the last one to answer this. Um, what were your thoughts on Kong's character development in this movie?
So, I actually really liked it. I thought it was kind of cool to see the way that he was interacting, especially like with Zuko, to see like going from just the Titan to like kind of like almost the father figure to him, and just seeing the way he was acting, especially with Godzilla, how he was so just it was so emoted trying to, you know, especially at the pyramids when he was trying to get him to come in and trying to figure it out. I love just being able to see kind of the way you kind of see the way he's thinking, you know, you're trying to kind of put it together like he's acting and stuff like that. And I thought that was pretty awesome to see. And even though I've never been too big of a fan, it was really cool to see him. So I am actually just from this movie and the last movie, it just makes me appreciate him a little bit more, kind of see him a little bit more. So I have gotten a little bit more into Kong because of these movies. So I do actually really like it. I do wish I was going to say something here. I kind of lost my train of thought there for a second. But I do hope in the next few movies we do kind of get more of a Godzilla side to it, more than the main one. But just these movies did make me appreciate and like Kong just a little bit more than what I used to. Because when I first went into the Kong with him coming into the movies, I was like, oh, okay, you know, I'm gonna see the movie. It's Godzilla. I'm always gonna see these movies. But I kind of was like, you know what, I couldn't really care too much about Kong, but especially with this movie, seeing all that, the way he acted, I mean, his feelings, how they were so shown out, how he was like vocal in a way. I liked him a lot more in this movie. So yeah, Kong is a little bit more appreciated in this household. Not over Godzilla, but Godzilla is still first, always.
Right, that's right.
Let him know.
All right, Oscar, go right ahead, man.
Well, obviously, Kong. I've been a Kong fan for years as well. Obviously, Godzilla's always gonna be the main one, but yeah, Kong. For him, I loved his character development in here in this film, especially when looking back at 2017, and actually, Kong's backstory too. He was orphaned. He saw his parents get murdered. By the damn skull crawlers, and it's just crazy. Like just traumatizing for him, especially when him growing up, being a huge ass, Titan just on Skull Island. Then years later on, he's 10 times the size, and he shows off so much emotion. You can connect with him. Like if there's just a strictly monster, no humans, nothing. Yes, obviously Kong would be like obviously the main character to watch, and of course Godzilla and other important monsters just to watch. But with Kong himself, like I did feel like and seeing his family being kept as slaves by the Scar King, and you can tell, like, no dialogue, you can feel his pain in him, his emotion. Like he cannot believe, like yes, he can't believe that he has family here, but he's also in shock that they're bowing down to this damn tyrant, and sure enough, whenever Scar King did what he did to, I guess, Zuko's guardian or so, literally just kicking him, in the damn lava, and seeing Kong's reaction. Like you can even see like that Kong was ready to fight. Like you can even see him slowly try and pick up his axe before Scar King was gonna do something or not. But his emotions, his character development, it's just really, you can just feel it, and of course, like. And also, whenever, he had his, busted up tooth thing, you can, like, we can all relate. Like, we've had a busted up tooth. And obviously, he had a badass, silver tooth, which was cool. And, him, Kong and Zuko, the first interaction, obviously, freaking Zuko bit his freaking fingers. And, later, next thing you know, freaking Kong waves him like a damn, literally a rag doll. He was, using Zuko as a damn ragdoll to smack the other damn apes, which was funny. It's so crazy how Zuko was still alive. But hey, I guess solid skull. But, and then later on, I haven't actually, I have no knowledge or even played any of the God of War games. But obviously, I heard of the Kratos and the boy story, whatever. I haven't actually played whatever, but seeing that, and of course, people doing like memes or drawings of God of War with Kong and Zuko, obviously, it's right there. And obviously, when Zuko was literally trying to have Kong killed by that damn sea serpent while playing in the damn water, think it's all fun and games, but no, freaking Zuko was an asshole to Kong. Like you like alive, boy. and uh, um, and of course, Kong beat the serpent. He threw his axe right in front of Zuko. He's very lucky, and of course, Kong was trying to be kind to Zuko, and of course later on, he even being kind to Shimo at the end of the film. Just seeing all three of them together, Kong, Zuko, and Shimo together, is like, yeah, Kong, has his family. But if there was one specific scene I liked with Kong, it's when he was helping out one of the apes that was knocked over because
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
older. And I felt like, oh my gosh, like it got in the field right there. Like, yep, that's a leader right there. Like, I love that, like, and of course also he freaking pretty much punched the shit out of the other one by on his face. But yeah, Kong in this, from 2017 to GVK to GXK, loved it.
He practically killed the motherfucker, bro.
Yeah, he killed that ape.
He was. He looked bad, bro.
Fucking
I've never seen anybody get knocked out like that. That was crazy. That was crazy.
But the thing is too, like, I liked how we didn't actually get to see Kong make contact. You just hear it and then boom, he's just on the damn floor.
Think.
All right, Malik, go right ahead, bro.
Yeah, I really like what you said, Oscar, about like the evolution of Kong's character from Skull Island from GVK to now. The progression of Kong is definitely very like I really love Kong in this film. I think where his character is at right now, I, I until they prove me wrong, I think where his character is at right now, if they leave it off like this, I'll be happy. I think Kong as his character arc, I feel like for me, his character arc is finished. He's got, he's now got like a son. He's got a new dog. I don't know where Mothra is. I think Mothra's still in Hollow Earth, right?
Yes.
Or is she? Okay, so he's probably gonna be working together with Mothra and stuff. Just
wait. So that's
okay.
the Mothra is another question that I have as well.
Okay. Let me keep that. Okay, but back to Kong. I really loved. I loved how funny he was in this film. I gotta be honest. The personality Kong had, and he just proved the point what everybody's been saying, that you don't need a monster movie with the humans. Kong, with the expression, no words were said, no sign language. It wasn't like the Planet of the Apes movies and stuff like that.
Yes.
It was just body language, but it was so entertaining. And Kong was just really really good developed character for this movie. The using Suko as a pair of nunchucks was I didn't know I needed that in my life. I was not expecting that. But I'm like, oh my god, that is so perfect. And like the scene where he knocked out that other gorilla, it was hilarious. It's so crazy how much that little insert became a meme. It's like it's like meme of the month right now. The amount of edits I've seen of it it's been so glorious. But like, yeah, Kong's character definitely, Monster vs. Kong is definitely my favorite iteration of the character besides the 1933 one. So I'm just like, yeah, he is. They handled him really well, but now I think his character, like his whole character arc, I think this is his peak until they prove me otherwise. But like for right now, yeah, I think this is his peak. This is where Kong belongs, and I gotta give him his flowers, yo. To be honest, I gotta give him his flowers. It was a really nice film.
All right, Christian.
So I agree with Malik 100%. It feels like a closure in the sense of the character of Kong. You know, like he got his family back. You know, he got his people back. I mean, I thought it was a really good, well written story. You know, just I can't get him out of my mind swinging Suko around like nunchucks. But you know, I really loved it. I love his character. Love how he got punked by Doug and he just accepted it. He's like, "Damn, dog took the food. All right, cool. Can't do nothing about that."
Yeah. He did. He was distracted by a damn frog that sounded like him.
That's true, yeah.
Which was funny.
But I mean, I do like how they show his intelligence in the movie as well, making all those traps and everything.
Yeah,
awesome. Like I was like, damn,
he did badass with those traps. Like,
no, he was like on point with all of them. He had the plan and everything. How it was helping him, when he was escaping from the horde of the other apes following him and everything. It was just like, yeah, he used it to his advantage. I like his interaction with Scar King. Is exactly polar opposites. When the trailer first came out, I'm like, oh, Scar King's just gonna be a bigger, stronger Kong and everything. I didn't expect Scar King to be. Do we have more questions about Scar King or anything?
So we still have the villains shit like that. Yeah,
I'm gonna hold off on that, but love the interactions between the two. Kong, such a classic hero character, who uses nunchucks. But yeah, no, I really like this character. I feel like this is a great end for him. So like, I know they're thinking about completing the trilogy from what I heard. I feel like he should be, what Godzilla has been the last two films, like a side character, like he comes out to help, but not the focus anymore. His story, just like Cody Rhodes, the story is done, the story is complete.
There you go.
Yes.
So, to touch bases on what the Cody Rhodes comment, all I gotta say is, "Whoa!"
Yeah, man.
Malik unfortunately couldn't share that moment with me. He was dorming in college, but I went over to his family's house and we all gathered around fucking both nights and just binged WrestleMania. Oh my god!
Nice.
I was gonna cave through their fucking floor, jumping up and down when Cody won. Oh my god! But all right, so me personally. Fucking hate Kong. So it's crazy. Like I'm looking at majority of the merchandising that we've been having for GXK, and I'm so glad not a single fucking Kong is on display in my fucking collection. All right. So, anyways,
oh my god.
I will give Kong this. All right. Now, because like for me, obviously seeing the 33 movie, if you even want to consider a little bit of this in the 76 movie, even a little bit in Peter Jackson's take of King Kong in 2005, he was ferocious. He is a monster. This is a motherfucker that if you lock eyes with, your instinct is to run. All right. That's something, especially for an animal like Kong, that is something that I've always wanted to see portrayed in, later movies down the road, after those specific movies. Obviously that's not the case in this specific Kong variant. But nonetheless, with what I will give him this in this specific movie. What he showed us was that you can give us the most shittiest human characters of all fucking time, but nonetheless, they're easily overlooked because the story is being told by unrealistic built monsters that don't speak a lick of fucking English, but they're portraying the story in the way that we as the fans have been wanting for years. We just didn't know how would something like that be executed. And they did that spot on with this. Obviously throwing Kong in there because he's something that, the human audience can relate to a little bit, all that type of bullshit and whatever. But, with his interaction with Suko, um, taking away the aspect of, Suko like being a prick to Kong in the beginning, but like his interaction later on towards the end of the movie reminded me a lot of, Godzilla and Minya. And I know some people may have their opinions on Son of Godzilla, or just let alone Minya in and of itself. But I love Minya. All right. Minya's been part of my fucking childhood for obviously for years. And growing up with just all boys and stuff like that. One of my younger brothers, Josh, I remember this dude would write down when he was whenever he'd become like student of the month. Oh, who's your best friend that you want to like basically give a shout out to for being student of the month? This motherfucker would put down Minya, Minya, and then in parentheses, son of Godzilla.
Wow.
So it's like with what we've seen with Kong and Suko, I did appreciate that also because again it reminded me of that. Even towards the end, like I kind of gave him like a little shoulder nudge, like okay, motherfucker, okay. When he like smirked at Godzilla towards the end of the fucking fight, after everything was set and done with Scar King and shit like that. So I guess that's the most positive that you hear me talk about Kong. Nonetheless, this is answering to the questions to everybody here that's been saying this. So in the next movie, it is not going to be Kong driven. It is going to be Godzilla's going to be the main focal point.
Yep.
So the director even said that he wants this movie to also basically pay a huge homage to that of Godzilla versus Destroyer.
Yep. He did say that.
So we don't know if it's so much it's a homage, like maybe probably introducing son of Godzilla or something like that. I don't fucking know, or if it's that they're going to be throwing in Destroyer in this, which like, this is a whole nother separate question on top of what I'm saying right now. But yeah, the way how the movie ended, this is the final chapter to Kong, in my opinion. We've seen it in Skull Island. We've seen it a lot more, and it was more apparent to us in GVK. And just doesn't want to be alone. He wants to roam around an entire island with a bunch of other Kongs and just live the rest of his life a happy one. And we got that at this movie. So, yeah. So now that we're talking about the Titans and stuff like that, and I know everybody has their own opinions specifically about Scar King and Shimo. So the question is, what are your thoughts on the new Titans? It doesn't even have to be about freaking Scar King or Shimo. It could be about Tiamat. It could be about Zuko. Shit, it could be the fucking 5-10 seconds we got of Titana's Doug. All right, it's the Titans excluding Godzilla and Kong that were in this movie. You guys could bring up if y'all want.
Oh, and including Mothra too, because
yes. So, but wait. That's what I said. I also have a Mothra question in this as well. So after this question, we have 3 more questions. I believe. I think 3 or 4, but I think it's more than likely 3. So we're gonna do a little bit different. We're gonna have our guest do it first. So it's gonna be Christian. It's gonna be Malik. It's gonna be Oscar, then Celeste, and then closing it with me. So go right ahead.
I like that they, my expectations of Scar King were not what I thought they were based on the trailer. I was expecting, this behemoth of version of Kong where they were taking down. Love that they didn't go that route. Love how easy it is to hate that guy. You know what I mean? I was like, this guy sucks. Terrible. But I really like how they did make him, not stronger than he's not stronger than Kong throughout the movie. He's just
Nah.
it's a different style. He's more flexible, faster,
Mhm.
quicker. And I really like that. I like when they change things up when it's not like just pure power and power. It's just like he's got distance with his bone whip. He's very fast and he could dodge stuff. He's very limber. Shimo, of course. Shimo. Don't know how to properly say it. Love her.
It's either Shimu or Shimo. I
Yeah,
call it Shimo.
Shamu from down the street. But yeah, no, I love Shimu. Of course, from the get go, you already know what's going on. She's not really a bad character. I love how they actually show her fighting the mind control from time to time. It's just like she doesn't want to do it, and then eventually, okay, I got to do it. I got no choice. So I really love the introduction of those characters. That's all I gotta say on that. I mean, I will add one more note. Titanus Doug is at least stronger than Kong, is proven. So he's at least Monsterverse. But I'll go ahead and pass it to Malik.
Go ahead, bro. Just for Doug.
Okay. Oh man. So let me just start off with Skyla and Tiamat. Tiamat, I'm so sad she got killed off screen. Oh, I really wish we saw that fight. Tiamat looked so insane in this movie, especially comparing how she looked like in Dominion to now. Like the glowing pink, the surging energy. Like, Tiamat was definitely in my opinion a really like a great touch to see a book monster make it finally on screen.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't expecting that at all. Jerron will tell you, I came in this movie virtually knowing nothing, absolutely nothing. I didn't want to hear nothing about it. After the second main trailer, I just basically avoided everything Godzilla related. So to see Tiamat show up, I was like, oh my god, they're really they're really adding pretty much everybody to this universe. I'm like, oh my god, this is about to be lit. And then, unfortunately she got off screen and I was like, oh man. But that was a nice thing to see. Our main villains. I just want to say, in my opinion, these two monsters are frauds. Scar King. I'm a little bit lenient on him because he had personality and he was smooth with it. He was cool with it. He was cool with it. I liked it. I liked him, but he was kind of a jobber. He was like, what made it worse is the director really did him wrong. He's hyping him up like he's the next bit, like the end all be all. Yeah. And the first three trailers that came out, the title trailer when it's him on the throne next to Godzilla and Kong Skull, I'm like thinking this guy's about to be like towering Godzilla. This guy's about to be huge. Like his arm is the length of Godzilla's body or something like that. And then, the more we see of him, well, from the trailer I saw and stuff, I'm seeing he's beating up Kong, and then, he's cutting Kong's hand from the trailer. I'm thinking, oh man, that's why Kong got the gauntlet. He really messed up Kong. And then we just see the glowing eyes of Shimo, and then I'm like, oh my god, these guys are cool. But how it was executed, my disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined. Basically, I was just, especially with Shimo, I thought Shimo was going to be like Broly from Dragon Ball Z. Like when I saw Scar King, used like the crystal to control her. I thought because she was like she was insane, she was crazy, like she was like Broly, like he's keeping her contained. And
Man, that's
if
a
the
good.
crystal broke, if the crystal broke, everybody's gonna get hit with it. But
That's pretty
that
interesting.
wasn't, yeah, that wasn't the case. I was just like, now we just got we got Kong and a pup named Scooby Doo with Shimo. I was like, oh, come on. I'm like, oh, come on, man. I'm like, to its credit, it's unique, it's different, but I'm like, these are the new big bads, like a balding ape, a balding ape, and a pit bull. Like, no, no. So I was definitely like disappointed in the villains, but they had personality to give them that extra boost. So, but other than that, yeah, these two were frauds.
All right. So, is it no Oscar? Go ahead, Oscar.
Well, as for me, the introduction to Scar King, from the very beginning, I had low expectations. You know what? Like, I'm not gonna overhype myself, thinking like he always gonna be, the big bad. And I had, and to be honest, I had a feeling that he was actually gonna be a bit smaller or like skinnier than Kong. And me personally, I'm fine with it because you have pretty much freaking Hulk Hogan, no, Andre the Giant facing freaking Kane.
Or Bob Backlund.
Andre the Giant is bigger. Kane is a little bit slimmer, but still strong.
Okay.
And hell, like the introduction to Scar King in the film was pretty it was built up. It was huge. Like holy crap! Like he was like very like he had a purpose. He's there to scare the crap out of whoever that's is trying to oppose him or whatever. And again, he had personality. Like especially when you see Kong's you could tell like he was ready for what's gonna happen. And when Scar King came right, circling around him, like the build up, for his like his song or theme song, whatever is going around, like, and you can see the height and the bulk difference. It's crazy. And sure enough, he's Scar King. He just looked at this, literally without even obviously not even asking permission, like just puts his damn finger around his damn tooth and starts laughing. And literally every other ape was laughing because Scar King was laughing. So obviously they had to with them. Like if not, then obviously something would go wrong. And whenever when Scar King saw Zuko, I'm like, oh my gosh, like this guy's literally gonna kill this kid. And that's when of course the Guardian shows up before in front of Scar King. And Scar King looked back at Kong, and obviously they thought that he wasn't gonna do anything, but sure enough, he did a damn kick. He did a handstand and he kicked the old ape to the damn lava. I'm like, oh my gosh,
that was fucked up.
Yeah, really, and you smiling about it too. Like, damn, this guy is literally like Scar from the Lion King.
Yes.
Or fucking like fucking what's his name? Voldemort. Obviously without the magical powers, but like Voldemort with crap. And then obviously yes, Kong literally could just beat Scar King on his own, but obviously if the fight were to have go on, I feel like Scar King could still probably beat Kong. One-on-one. Is just obviously that evil conniving ape where he doesn't play by the rules. Obviously literally he just like casually just takes out the the crystal that holds Shimo hostage or whatever. And yes, when talking about Shimo, yes, Shimo like seeing this as a huge threat, and yes, making her feel like Godzilla's not even equal, but like maybe even stronger than her. But yeah, unfortunately, Shimo was not that. Scar King, I did expect him to be someone like that. Being evil, conniving, doesn't have to be taller or bigger than Godzilla and Kong, but where he could, he's you don't have to be, you don't have to play hard or whatever. You just gotta play smart. And like seeing Shimo, yes, trying to not obey Scar King. Like you can think about it, like you can just Like if you were to see someone or something, taking control of something that doesn't want to do what it wants to, what it has to do or whatever, you see them, being forced to do it and through pain, obviously you are not gonna stand by that crap, And seeing that with Shima and Skarky, like damn, like I just felt bad for her. And obviously, with later on with Skarking, whenever when Kong escaped, you could just see, Skarking, just literally having his little army or whatever going after him. And then I swear to God, this scene happened really quick. I've been meaning to want to go back to it, but when that other ape that got that escaped from one of Kong's traps, for a glimpse, you can you can see other apes, and you can see pretty much female apes holding their infants, and you see Scar King eating something. And I swear to God, if it is what I think it is, if this fool is a cannibal, then obviously he's eating freaking infants. Then that's really fucked up. Like holy
That's what I
crap.
think it is. That's what I thought it was.
Scary too. Guy really is an evil damn tyrant. And you know what? And also another cool thing, another interesting thing is seeing his eyes for the first time in that first ever teaser trailer. I thought that obviously Scar King being in the Hollow Earth for many years, his eyes being blue or whatever, it had me thinking like, what if Scar King has the powers to hold up electricity? If you kind of think about it, yes, it doesn't have if Kong did have electrical powers, okay, but it has to there has to be like something that makes sense for obviously yes, the Beast Glove, they had that, but Scar King, he's been in the Hollow Earth for years. He was again in prison or trapped because of Godzilla or one of Godzilla's species put him there. And obviously if Scar King if he had electrical powers, I would have been fine with it. But that also would make him, some more uneven, more powerful foe. But, excuse me. Nonetheless, Scar King was fucking evil. Especially like if again looking back, like obviously I'm gonna see the movie again next week. If it was a damn infant that he was eating, then yeah, that showed like Scar King. Yes, obviously King Ghidorah is the better main villain, but Scar King is the most evilest. Like, god damn. And let's see, and of course, obviously, when Shima was finally was finally freed, I knew that she was gonna do what she, obviously, yes, she could have blasted Scar King, or of course, Khan would just literally throw Scar King in front of Shima, and she would just literally attack him like a little damn dog, like going up against its master, But obviously, when she blasted, Shima with her ice breath, and obviously you could see, Scar King, like moving his eyes, like, oh man, like. This fool don't give up, but he was evil. Shimo, I'm glad they didn't kill her off, because I actually did like her. Yes, the way they built them both up. Yes, at the end of close to the midway to the film, I do wish we had more scenes with them. And yes, there were some cut scenes from Shima where she would have had more screen time, but obviously there were cuts or things that they had to discuss backstage or whatever where. If this doesn't go well, then we'll change this up, blah blah blah. But like, you know what? Like for what screen time there was for both of them, I like them both. But obviously, yeah, Shimo, I don't see her as the main villain, but Scar King, he really was the damn fucking villain, damn evil tyrant. Whatever you see him, he was evil. and also whenever Kong threw, and yes, I would have loved to have seen Scar King and Godzilla duke it out a little bit, but then again, Scar King was playing it smart. He knew he wasn't gonna fight. He wasn't gonna hold his own against Godzilla, unless possibly he had electrical powers. But obviously, that's a whole other alternate universe thing, But yeah, overall, Scar King as a villain, to me, he was evil, very conniving as well. And also, let's see if hopefully I don't forget anything else. Oh, and of course the whip slash. That was a pretty damn cool weapon, especially when he was using it. He was. Doing backflips or whatever, and I like that. And Shimo, yeah, I'm happy she's free. We get to see her expression where she's finally free, looking up in the sky. Like, felt that, and that should be it, hopefully. But yeah, Celeste, you're next.
Oh yes, sorry. So yeah, I kind of I do like the Scar King. I was kind of like with Christian, where when it was first coming out, I was thinking it was going to be like the big bad, like Destroyer. You know, they make him so intimidating, so much bigger, and it was kind of cool just to see how it wasn't just size that made him what he was, that evil character. It was also in the actions that it played a part. So I also really liked how like he wasn't. They didn't just call him a villain because he was tough. They gave us reasons to not like him, with whether it be, you know, I mean, enslaving everybody like you guys are mentioning, which I hadn't noticed about the eating portion of that. I'm gonna have to, when we go see it again, I will make sure to keep an eye on that because I want to know now. But
Yeah.
I mean, just starting off with entrapping this other kaiju, the way he killed the other chimp that was just trying to, you know, protect Suko. Suko, I can't talk today. It was just kind of cool. Like they, not only was he just a villain, but they gave you reasons as to like, oh, you really want this guy to get killed. You
Yeah.
want something to happen to him. You want like just I just wanted something bad to happen to this character, you know. And at the end, it made me just feel so much better once they, you know, absolutely, absolutely just murder him straight out. Love the way they did that. By the way, I thought that was so.
Yes, it was satisfying.
Yeah, they used all of their access to that, which I thought was amazing. It was just a whole team effort there, but yeah, I just love that they kind of just made us not like him, showed us how bad he was by keeping them all enslaved. You know, basically, when you see that one point where all the female chimps are there, and you can tell like they're all carrying his children.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It just it made me not like him. But I mean, I loved his character though. I loved his character. Loved the way they portrayed him. How he wasn't bigger than Godzilla and he wasn't bigger than Kong, but just because of his influence and his power and just having that whip, like Oscar was saying, which I thought was amazing. I was actually really, really cool to see how they had made that with the end being Shimu's control with the spine. But I loved his character, and I just loved how they make you not like him. And like, there wasn't a second where I was like, "Oh, I hope maybe he'll stick around for something." No, I wanted him like absolutely destroyed. I wanted to see at the end when they did that. It just made it so much better to just be like, "Thank God this homie's out of there." But I loved Star King, and I'm justice for Shimu. I'm just saying, like, she deserved being let go, and to see her face at the very end there when she's finally free and she's just looking up, like, it was just so peaceful for me to see that, like, after all these years, all that time, because of this one character, she's finally out there. And I hated him, but I loved him. It's a love-hate relationship with Star King, but I thought he had I loved this character. So.
Yep.
Damn, I feel bad now because I feel like I'm gonna be the only one with Malik that's gonna be like, I fucking couldn't stand these motherfuckers. Like, and the reason is because it's like, rightfully for Scar King. I mean, granted, for a villain, he fit that category, but I do personally think that there could have been so much more that you could have done revolving around Scar King. Like, our previous show, when I was watching, I think Michael was the one who brought it up, or Eric. We had no like lore behind how was Scar King able to control Shimo with with just that crystal. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless if like
think about ways, but like there's no official thing unless you read the novelization. But
yeah, so like, but that's why I'm like, I would have rather have just heard, like, even if it was like slightly brief of a description as to how he's able to do that with that piece of fucking crystal he had. I always, again, like, I always try to tie it to like maybe because it's a piece of Shimo, or I don't know. All right. And again, a lot of things that people have said. Malik, I've heard you say it. Oscar, you've said it as well. I'm even reading a few of the comments over here and stuff like that. Like with the original teaser trailer given out for GXK, the New Empire, they made it seem like Scar King was going to be this huge, massive, like Gigantopithecus behemoth of a creature that you need both Godzilla and Kong to stop. Which I will say, I will admit this, I didn't like that idea because I'm like, there's no way in hell that you're going to need both Godzilla and Kong to aid together to fight another giant ape. So seeing, him like look the way that he did and just like how he statures with the rest of the Titans, I'm like, oh, okay, it ain't that big of a fucking deal. But nonetheless, you know what I'm saying? Then when being teased with Shimo, with obviously, the Playmates advertisements, the Funkos, et cetera, yada, 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 I'm like, oh my God, so this bitch is going to be a problem. But then seeing like the way how she was executed in this, I'm like, so my thing was when I saw, her being held captive and stuff like that, and obviously being forced to work for Scar King, I put it as, yo, he needs to put her in check because if not, she's going to create another Ice Age type thing, basically on some like Malik said, like on some Broly shit. You know what I'm saying? He needs to be held captive. If not, he's going to go berserk, and we don't want that. You know, I've always said the way how the movie should have ended, like, and I'm gonna be honest, like the way how the movie should have ended. Let's just say Scar King and Shima were given, I guess, respected amount of screen time in the movie, because that's one thing a lot of people have been, talking about, is that the lack of screen time those two characters were given. If they were given the appropriate amount of screen time given to the story, what I would have rather have seen was, okay, Godzilla or Kong, they destroyed the crystal. Shimo's no longer under Scar King's control. Shimo goes berserk and just mollywops Scar King. Looks at Godzilla and Kong. They look at each other to then look back at Shimo, and they're like, okay, let's get this. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I would rather have seen, and then obviously seeing the direction that they went. And I'm like, that's all she is. She's just a fucking dog. And I'm like, oh, come on, man. Like, I forgot who in here said that. She's like a pit bull. Who said that? Oh, she reminds me of Justice, my pit bull. And I'm like, oh my God. Every time I look at the damn dog, I'm like, oh God, Shimo. I should have named you Shimo. Like, it's just, I don't know. Again, like I said earlier in the stream, I forgot with what question I said this to. If I were to have been handed the script to create something different from what the original, script was, I feel like I would have done something a little bit more appealing to what our expectation was and stuff like that. Nonetheless, the characters have been receiving a lot more love than hate. And listen, if that's what that means, and if they're going to be getting and going to continue to receive more love than hate, then listen, by all means, I'm up for it. Shit, at least I'm happy that we're getting new Titans, and instead of just like, bringing back, classic Toad characters, which I'm not against, but I've always said, listen, this is a huge lore-based universe. I want to see more Titans, more original Titans, and I'm so glad that we got that in this movie.
Yeah, they're very distinct too.
Yes, absolutely. So I do have two more questions. I think these are like really easy questions. So this question pertains to another Titan that nobody had any clue was going to be in, and that is the Queen of the Monsters, Mothra. So, because we got the happy ending of finding out Mothra did survive, could that lead to a possible teaser of a possible solo Mothra movie for the Mothra?
Better do so.
So I'm going to ask Celeste. I see her like marking out right now, so I am going to ask her first, and then it's gonna go. It's gonna go Oscar, Christian, Malik, and then I again. Same thing. I'm gonna be the last one. All right. So Celeste, by all means, go right ahead.
Okay, so it's so funny too because I had known before the movie had dropped, there were people in other groups just posting photos willy-nilly, and I know some of those were, people were debunking they were fake. And so when I first saw that, I was like, I was so mad that I had seen it. Spoiler. But I was also at the same time, I was like, God, that would be so great if she would be in it. But I was trying to put myself in the belief, like, no, somebody probably just posted that to just,
Yeah.
it's fake news basically. And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
it's probably not too much hope. So I kind of went into it being like, yeah, no, that probably wasn't real. Didn't want to look at it, didn't want to look into it, and fear of spoiling it for myself. So when they actually started to lead up to that, to being like, oh yeah, it's Mothra, I was absolutely, I was so excited. I was just like, oh my God, I was talking myself into this. Like, it wasn't real, but it was, I mean, it was sad because it was a spoiler, but like, oh my God, she's actually back. And just to see, I mean, I know she didn't get a lot of screen time, sadly. I do wish she would have had a little bit more screen time, a little bit more of a purpose, even though I know she was able to help in pertaining to the fight. But I was so excited to see her. I mean, like, I used to grow up with her. My mom used to always make jokes about, like, oh, you have the protector angel, yours is Mothra. So I used to think that was funny. So seeing her come into this movie, and even though it was a short time, I am hoping that them showing her, like you were saying, them showing her will lead into, hopefully in the next movie, she plays a little bit of a bigger role. We get to see her more, I think someone made a comment earlier. Now I can't remember that she was able to like spit the webs in this movie, and prior it was just basically the larva.
Yes. Yep.
Yep. So I'm hoping if we do have another movie, we get to see a little bit more of her power, a little bit how stronger she is. But I'm really hoping that this tethers into a future movie of showing her and just a little bit more of her character. So I would be very excited. But seeing her in this movie was absolutely mind blowing, and I just love to see her character, so hoping to see her again.
Yes. Oscar, go right ahead.
When it came down to the supposed links at the time, I honestly think that maybe Mothra's not gonna be in the movie. They're just putting Mothra in because they have the rights to sell products. It could have been any other time. It could have been freaking a Behemoth or a Warbad. But like whether they're gonna be in the film or not. But when I heard obviously whenever the trailers hit, I actually didn't think Mothra would probably would return, but obviously, I do follow other YouTubers and other whatever, and there could be possibilities. And that one wide shot of Godzilla and Kong warring at the pier by the Sphinx, that open area.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking, wait a minute, this wide shot, it obviously edited out. Mothra could be in there.
Yep.
But then there was another link of a supposed substitute tie-in that I swear to God, it looking at it, it did not belong. It looked like a damn Mothra third-party ripoff. I'm sure some of y'all have seen it.
I saw that.
With its arms like this, like a damn bug. And the crazy thing is, Adam Wingard actually said himself, I think one of the interviews, I think some of y'all may have seen it or not. He said, if Mothra was not, like they already did Mothra was going to be the original time that was going to be in there. But if they were not able to have Mothra in there or didn't have permission, then that other ripoff tie-in was going to be the backup. And I'm so happy.
Man.
From Adam Wingard himself, I am so happy that Toho or whoever saying that it was okay to have Mothra in there. Because, oh my God, could you imagine like seeing this time, like, who in the hell is this?
It was so weird looking. It looked like something from the Alien franchise. It didn't even look like it belonged to Godzilla.
It's revolting. Like what kind of Douglas bullshit is this? Like, I'd rather have Doug being there than freaking fighting Mothra off. But and you know what I was thinking of? The Mothra from 2019, obviously at the end credits, it could be canon or not. It was just like a little, whatever thing, saying that humans found a gigantic egg at some island or whatever location. And obviously there's this Mothra in the Hollow Earth. It gets me thinking, if 2019 was, legit, obviously, saying that Mothra did lay an egg out there, we could have two Mothras, one for the Hollow Earth and one for, up above. And I think I'm all aboard with that. Why not have two Mothras?
Yeah.
And also, yes, Mothra, she helped out with Godzilla, preventing Godzilla from literally gonna kill Kong with no hesitation. And you know what? Honestly, seeing that, I honestly wish that that's how it was in GVK. Like, yes, say Mechagodzilla wasn't gonna happen. Godzilla was about to kill Kong, but obviously Mothra would be in the film, but obviously, we would know that she was in the film, not like a last minute thing, where she did in this film. She did her raise or whatever, and stopping Godzilla. Seeing that in GVK, I would have been much okay with it. But nonetheless, the film, what it did. I enjoyed it. Oh, this one, I loved it. And also, like you said, I'm Jordan, with the connection with Gia and Mothra. I liked how you mentioned, and I didn't think about it either. Like the Iwis aren't meant for Kong; they're more like for Mothra. And when I heard about that, I was like, okay, you know what? I really do see that. How it makes more sense. And yes, seeing Gia interact with Mothra, I loved it. And of course, her being right in front of Godzilla as well. Like, god damn, this girl is lucky as hell to be with literally
Jealous of her.
oh my god. And yes, if Mothra were to have her own films, I would love to see, like, say, a Rebirth of Mothra kind of trilogy thing. But obviously, they need the rights. If they were to have, the rights to do that, I'm all aboard with it. It would give, I guess you could say, Godzilla a bit of break in some way, or maybe Godzilla could be part of those movies in some sort of ways or whatever, or even like a prequel kind of movies, Let's see. And with Mothra, let's see what else. I'm actually pretty happy. And of course, the little interaction with Godzilla looking at Mothra and her looking back at him, like, it was also very hard moment. Like, oh my gosh, this is like, and of course, people doing edits or whatever, adding specific kind of music around it. It makes it more like heartwarming. Like, god damn, like you just gotta love it when people do this, animators or whatever, And I just loved it. And yes, I'm glad that Mothra, of course, she didn't die in this film. I'm glad that she was a part of this film. Because if they had that other creature, Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire, it would have been my bottom list. Because, well, other than Skull Island, the animated series, but it was just, I'm glad that they let Mothra be in the film. Thank God. Yeah. All right, go on. Who's next?
Christian, go right ahead, bud.
Alrighty, so listen, man, she's the queen of the monsters. She literally stopped Godzilla from murking Kong.
Yep.
With a very strong blast. I think she might have came back stronger. That was kind of ridiculous. When I saw it the first time too, I was just like she bodied him and she didn't even touch him. That's kind of crazy. Oscar, dude, your theory about maybe the two Mothra things. I didn't even think about the other egg. You're right about that. Maybe hints for a Batra. I don't know if they're gonna do a full-fledged movie. I do know that they did mention they renewed or they approved season 2 of Monarch. They're obviously doing the next movie, and they did mention another spin-off.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of something else. So, I mean, I could see maybe a Mothra show in the future, kind of like how they're doing for Monarch, or a mini-series or something like that.
Too.
Yeah, just because I don't know if she has enough weight to have people in the movies. I would definitely go, of course, but all of us would go. But I don't know if people are gonna go home.
Yeah.
They sleep on Mothra.
Definitely.
Love the interaction between her and Godzilla. Really cool to see. He goes from 10 to 1 real quick. He's like, my bad. He's like,
down real quick.
He's like, oh, I can't kill him. Okay, let me relax. My bad. I like how this Mothra is, she's the shooting of the webs. She has. I mean, I don't think they showed it in this one because there wasn't really a need to. I don't know if she still has her stinger in this one.
I think that she never used it.
Yeah, this would be not to say that she wouldn't be able to, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
This movie they did.
Her character is more like she wouldn't use it unless the Iwi tribe, you're not wrong. As soon as they entered, I believe one of the first things you see is the Mothra logo. So the Iwi tribe is literally for Mothra and not really the people of Kong. Especially the way they communicate through telepathy, and that's how it's kind of confirmed. That's how Mothra communicates with Godzilla. But no, man, you love her design. Beautiful. I haven't seen this design of this abomination discount great value brand freaking Mothra that I think you're
I'll
doing.
show it to you in a minute.
Oh, gotcha. But yeah, loved it. Her return was amazing, and I got nothing else to say. She's the queen of the monsters, man. Give her flowers.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, and you know what? I forgot to mention this too before Malik goes on. We've also pretty much got our somewhat of an homage to the supposedly King Kong versus Sea Monster, because remember, King Kong was going to be fighting the Sea Monster instead of Godzilla. So we pretty much somewhat got a little homage to that, because Kong was right there with Mothra. It was like barely brief, but I liked it, and of course she did have helped out with holding off Kong. So yeah, I wanted to throw that in before I forget.
And he fought a sea serpent too.
Yes, yeah. See, but Kong has always fought, and even in older movies,
like a regular sea snake type.
Yeah. So he's always done.
Yeah.
For all we know, this movie could have been an homage to that, but I mean, who knows? This whole movie was just a fucking clusterfest of nostalgia.
Yeah.
So go right ahead, Malik.
So I really agree with everybody, especially like the design aspect of Mothra. Definitely a huge improvement. I thought they couldn't improve her even more, because their 2019 design I loved it. But to see her with a more brighter color palette, she looked more angelic, very very more deity like, and I always appreciate that. The screen time I felt like they had with her killed it for me, in my opinion. I was very disappointed. The fact that I'm like, you're not just bringing any monster back. You're bringing back, if Godzilla's not famous enough, pretty much the second character who's famous in the franchise, Mothra. Like, it's like, I get it. This is, this is another thing. Like, it's like, it's kind of frustrating that this is a Kong film, because I'm like, this is a very important character, and like to see her barely be in the last 20 minutes of the film, I was like, come on, man. But for what she did, to help, for what she did for the little screen time that she made it work, it definitely made me hungry for more, and I think that was the marketing scheme. I think that was the whole interest, to really get us anticipating, salivating for more. So if they do something so ballsy to do a Mothra trilogy or a Mothra solo film, I agree with Christian. They got to do Batra. They can't, you got to have the yin to Mothra's yang, the shadow to Mothra Sonic. You got to have a legendary Batra. I would love to see. I would love to see. That would be awesome. If not, I may be in the minority of this, but I would actually like to see a legendary Descadora.
Yes.
Or another, because one thing I really do not like about the MonsterVerse films is that pretty much all of the villains have to die. But we know for legal reasons they have to go, because they can't really keep the license for too long, which is a very unfortunate thing. But I always keep it in the back of my head after seeing King of the Monsters. I'm like, there has to be another King Ghidorah or another of the Ghidorah species. So I would love for the
for sure.
like Desghidorah, or even take two Kaiser Ghidorah. Oh my god, that would be insane. But a Mothra solo film, or even a Mothra trilogy, or with the announcements of new spin-off shows, maybe a Mothra TV show, just to go into the whole lore and the connection with the Iwi tribe, and even the twin, I can't remember the name, but the twins from King of the Monster that was working with Monarch. Even their connection.
the
Doctor.
doctor.
Yes, yes. Her, she and her sister with their connection with Mothra. That I would love to see that. But yeah, I definitely want to see more of Mothra. I felt they really teased us very badly with the amount of screen time she had. But yeah, I'm just salivating for more. I think there needs to be more Mothra. And mind you, I'm not the biggest Mothra fan. I actually like really like for what it's worth, like how the MonsterVerse is doing it. I think this is really such a like a great character for Mothra. Even though I prefer Godzilla and Mothra to be enemies, that's just me. But for what they're doing with the story now, I dig it. I dig it.
Yeah.
All right, so that would for me. Malik, I have such a huge appreciation of Mothra. When I saw her in the movie, and it's crazy before the leaked images started surfacing all over the internet about like what was going to happen in the movie, or who was going to be in the movie. I forgot who it was, but it was from a very reliable source. I've known like about a year prior to even the teaser trailer of for GXK that I already knew Mothra was going to be in the movie. I just didn't know whether if they're going to do like some last minute changes and just take her out. But regardless with what she had shown in the movie, and just there's not a single person that had not gone to see this movie and came across Mothra, even if it wasn't her interaction with Godzilla, but just when she had appeared in the movie, and not a single person was like teary eyed. So you do have that emotional connection with Mothra through the public, whether if it be a diehard Godzilla fan or somebody that only knows of these monsters through the MonsterVerse. So I do think that making a solo Mothra movie will definitely be something that is extremely cool. I mean, a lot of people within our community have been asking for it as well. Prop Nathan, that's what that's especially with the way how the show ended. That would be something cool to see, or
Yeah.
definitely a different route. But again, to build up the MonsterVerse. Um, but yes, I would love to see a solo Mothra movie after this. There's so much world building, obviously, around each specific Titan, and we know. Look, how many Mothra movies have we had, or at least solo Mothra movies, more so specifically the Rebirth. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
the Rebirth trilogy, where we've seen all these new characters come to play and stuff like that, so they could easily, grant that with another Mothra movie in this. And then Malik, you're talking about, possibly, you know, I'd rather her come back if they were to do a solo movie going up against Descadora, all right, or even Kaiser Ghidorah or whatever. I personally I wouldn't want to see Kaiser Ghidorah in the MonsterVerse.
Yeah.
But
Kaiser
with
evolves into Monster X. See how that Kaiser Ghidorah, then Monster X, not the other way around.
so like I don't know, I feel like that's like a one and done type of character, but that's
Yeah.
for another like a whole another like topic. But what you could
Yeah.
do there is, for Descadora, there's lore to Descadora. There's a whole bunch of species of Ghidoras, and it all stems from one place. That's where you could also create, the bigger lore than just planet Earth. Let's go to outer space, right? Let's do an origin story of Ghidorah so we could see why all these characters connect and stuff like that, whatever. But that's besides the point. Again, I would love to see a Mothra solo movie, or if not that series, whatever the case may have been. I do believe that this movie was a perfect example of getting that proper feedback from the audience into wanting a Mothra movie. Now, before we close things off, this bonus question, this isn't the final question, this bonus question I have is just really quick, really simple, is something out of the ordinary, and a lot of people don't talk about this or let alone ask this. All right. So we're gonna go from the top to bottom. All right. Um, starting with Malik. The question I have for you, and this is a question for everybody else: what city or what state, city, or country would you like to see Titans duke it out in the future for the Monsters?
Oh man, honestly. I want to see, especially like in the MonsterVerse, I want to see them have a battle in Tokyo. In
Okay.
Japan, I would love to see the climax of like the MonsterVerse films that happen in Japan, because I think that would be like kind of like it's all going full circle. If not Japan, I think a really cool location would be uh perhaps like Beijing or yeah, Beijing. I think that would be a pretty cool set piece to see monsters fighting. But yeah, definitely Tokyo, Japan would be uh I guess a dream country to see the monsters duking it out at.
All right. Oscar.
Well, I'm gonna do this because me and Asia live in the same damn state. We're gonna go to good old Texas, and location wise, anywhere in Texas, there's Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, or Austin, or hell, even in small towns, want to have a good old style, West Texas, shootout or whatever with freaking Godzilla blasting his heat rate against freaking, I'm just gonna say a random monster, freaking Space Godzilla just using his damn gravity beams. I'm just, I just want to see those monsters just because, good old freaking West Texas stand up. Just why not? Texas, nothing, nothing better than Texas. That's my take, for sure.
All right, so let Christian go right ahead.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This is gonna be a tough one because obviously we would all love to see them duke it out back in their hometown, Tokyo, Japan, USA. And then no, honestly, I two that came to mind would be wherever the Burj Khalifa is, United Arab Emirates, where the tallest building in the world is.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, because and then they're building a bunch of different skylines. They have like a lot of towers there and everything, so that'd be pretty cool to see and duke it out because it's a desert area. Then they got like the whole waterfront right touching the desert, so that'd be interesting. I just want to see a monster grab the Burj Khalifa and whack another monster with it. That'd be dope. And then the other one, have they fought in New York? Has the MonsterVerse gone to New York yet?
I mean, not MonsterVerse, but the '98 film was.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to see a return for the American Godzilla, go back to New York and duke it out there.
Yeah,
and something tells me the next one's going to be that.
All right.
Yeah.
They thought they were fucked with the other Godzilla. Wait till this Godzilla comes over here. They gonna learn today. But yeah, like they were saying again, back in Japan. But I do like the first Godzilla and Kong. China, I loved all the lighting and how cool it looked. And I just thought it was awesome. Like, just seeing all the lights and everything being neon and everything was so cool. I wouldn't know where the first thought would be, like, kind of where I used to live, kind of like you were saying, their own hometown, like, when they have Coachella going on. Like, have Godzilla start destroying them while everyone's in town for Coachella or something. I want to see what everybody laying around in their Coachella outfits trying to get away. Which would be absolutely funny, but yeah, I mean, basically back to something like that, or Japan and China. I was going to say New York too, yeah, just for the simple fact is, they saw the other one. It's time to get the real one. But yeah.
Yep.
I think personally right now it would have to be China. I just really like the whole atmosphere of all the lights and just seeing it all happen like that. I just really like the lighting. But probably have to be China or Japan again.
Now, yeah, the lighting was great. Oh my god. For me, I guess I have to be a little bit biased. For me, it's definitely, especially because the MonsterVerse is definitely like, I love that they chose to go, different places and stuff, like outer countries and stuff like that, places that you don't normally see, kaiju's duking it out and shit like that. But me, being Puerto Rican, I would say that I would love to see fucking Titans duking it out in fucking Puerto Rico. Whether if it's Godzilla coming across a new Titan or just the Titans that we already have established in the MonsterVerse. I just love to see the fucking bunch of Puerto Ricans going crazy over giant monsters and shit. It would be, for me, especially like the scenery, like obviously it's a huge island. it could obviously, take place within San Juan, Ponce, it doesn't really matter and stuff like that. It could be scenery where it's just like city based or island based, regardless. I think it would be like a perfect environment to shoot just two giant monsters or multiple of them all at once, just duking it out. All right. So that was the bonus question. The last and final question before we end off tonight's show is, do you think that or no, not so much that you think, where do you see the MonsterVerse from this point on forward, moving in a direction towards with the next movie?
Oh man.
Let's right. This one's going to be a little bit different. Whoever comes up or whoever has a right answer, just if I see whoever's hand raises up or put a two sweet or one or a finger up, all right, Oscar, go right ahead.
All right. Well, me personally, if they were to, say end the MonsterVerse, obviously, like Godzilla, he's been evolving, he's been changing, he's been getting stronger, powerful. At this point, it feels like, if they were to kill off Godzilla, I feel like let him go off on his own terms, like, and of course, like when the guy said, one of the guys said on the other show, because I was thinking about that too. If they were to have Godzilla be killed, or of course sacrifice himself or whatever, it could be, obviously we have 5 MonsterVerse films right now. I would go along and say, why not just have 5 more films ended on the good, 10, double digits, good, number 10 film. If not, then maybe a trilogy where it's just nothing but Godzilla. Like, say the first 2 films are focused on Godzilla, and the third one is where he actually needs help, say from Kong or from his other Titans, to take on a much bigger, obviously a bigger threat. Obviously, yes, King Ghidorah was that bigger threat, but there still could be other monsters, like say the monsters I could think of for in the trilogy. Say if there was a trilogy altogether. Or actually, yeah, Biollante, Space Godzilla, and or Bagan.
Mm-hmm.
With say Biollante, I would say have her in the first film. The second film, Space Godzilla. The third one, have Bagan, because Toho or any other company, they have not tried to put freaking or also say destroy. Those are the 4 we could think of. Like they've never had, like Toho's never done a Bagan film. They've had so many damn chances throughout the Heisei era of Godzillas. Even Mothra was gonna face off against Bagan, but that whole thing was scrapped.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, like say Bagan was the main threat that was human made. I would love to see Godzilla as obviously he needs help. He has Kong helps Godzilla out, and a bit of a grown-up Tsuko, or teenage Tsuko, and some of the other Titans from Godzilla's planet to go up against Bagan. And yes, even go on to have, say, a son of Godzilla, which I'm all for it. Like, why not?
Yes.
And yeah, Adam Wingard said he wants to do a more serious, I think a more serious film with Godzilla, which I'm okay with. Obviously, they did that with the Showa era towards the very end of it, where 73 Godzilla, very silly film, but that's when 74 and 75 came in. They brought back a little bit more serious tone film for those 2 films, especially Terra Mega Godzilla.
Yeah.
And or say I'm just gonna say another thing, just a double film feature with just Godzilla. So 7 films total. The first film, have Godzilla face off against humanity, and of course at the end of the close to the end of the film where humanity made a damn monster, which was a mutation codenamed Bagan. The second film, you have Godzilla trying to face out this giant creature with Bagan. It takes up the whole film. Godzilla saying is nonstop trying to stop Bagan, and Godzilla has to make the big old sacrifice to blow himself up with Bagan. And of course, having Son of Godzilla somewhere in the in both films to of course it depends on the writers who's doing the directing and producing. Yeah. I would love to see that. So say total films, I would love to see Godzilla in. For say last show, 3 or 2 films total. That's it. And yeah, if Godzilla were to go, I would say let him go out his own way, let him go out with a bang or whatever.
Yes.
And obviously have humanity actually thank Godzilla, because yes, Godzilla did what he had to do. He had to destroy some cities to take down another monster. The humans didn't like him, blah blah blah. And yet, whenever they see their one hero, it's like with Batman v Superman. The people hated Superman. Obviously, for half the people love him, half of them hated him. And yet, whenever Superman's gone, oh, now all the damn haters they're missing him. It's like same with us, us fans for the MonsterVerse or the non-fans of the MonsterVerse. Godzilla's done. The MonsterVerse era is done. It's over and done with. And who knows when the next Godzilla film or next run of films are gonna happen? Rather Toho's gonna keep going with one film, solo films, whatever, where it's years apart. And yet us for the U.S., we want to have like another universe, which I feel like it could happen in the future. Especially when Godzilla's 100-year anniversary is 30, obviously, 30 years away, but it's going to come by quick.
Yep.
Yeah.
And obviously, we're going to be around. And obviously, until that day happens, I would love to see that, be around to see Godzilla's 100-year anniversary. And still seeing the franchise being strong as ever. But yeah, that's me personally. If the monsters would still continue with Godzilla, obviously, I was, Godzilla sacrifices himself to defeat a bigger threat with 2 or 3 films. Have humanity see what they done wrong, where a monster that did a lot for them, even though he didn't care about the humans, he still did a lot to save the planet, his home. And obviously, the humans, they really do. It shows like our love and appreciation to Godzilla, whether it's on screen or off, us as viewers. But yeah, that's there you go.
All right, Christian, you go right ahead. Oh, my fault. Malik, my fault. Yep. I forgot. I told y'all to do that. Yep. Go ahead, Malik.
I like what you said, Oscar, about Bacon. That's definitely like, if they were to do that, oh man, that would be such a cool fit concept. Where I see the MonsterVerse heading, I think roughly like maybe like 10 films in like the whole mythos. I think that's like roughly like a really good number if they were to like, stop right there at 10 films and stuff. I definitely, after seeing GVK and GXK, for the longest I was opposed of having more Toho monsters, but now I kind of got a change of heart after seeing this film. I still think they should push for new original monsters with both Shimo and Scar King. It was the step in the right direction of creating unique and easily recognizable and distinct villains, but now all it is just upping the ante of, I guess, like power. Now we have to like now get villains that can actually like talk the talk and walk the walk. Basically, I would love to see an original villain. Like to see the other Titan. I really think who I would really like to see from the Toho side is Anguirus. I
Yes.
think Godzilla needs. He
He
has
needs
to.
a damn dog.
He
He
needs
needs his
Anguirus.
own dog.
Yep.
He needs. Listen. Godzilla's Batman, and he needs his Robin. It's just. Listen. It's just like all due respect to Mothra, but I'm like, listen. You're not Godzilla's best friend. He already has one. I need to see Anguirus in this. I need to see a MonsterVerse Anguirus. I really want to see Hedorah come back. I think, to know that Yoshimitsu Banno, without him, we would not have the MonsterVerse. I think it would be very poetic to have his creation to come into the American franchise. And, here in the States, everybody, pretty much, the older generations, our parents know the Smog Monster. He's like, if it's not Megalon, it's the Smog Monster. So I think Hedorah, and, it may be a little biased because Hedorah is my favorite monster, but even still, Hedorah, I would love to see him come in. Destroyer, I've been on the fence of that. If they do him well, like how they did King Ghidorah, I think he would be incredible to see. I know space people really want to see Space Godzilla. I gotta see how that's executed. But I think Destroyer. I would rather see Destroyer before Space Godzilla because I feel like even though like in terms of realism, that's pretty much thrown out the window with the MonsterVerse. But I
Mhm.
think like Destroyer is like the next step, and yeah, um, I want to see like the Mothra solo film. If Mothra could get her own trilogy, that would be really cool. Maybe another show within the MonsterVerse besides on Monarch Legacy of Monsters. Maybe they can get Michael Dougherty to do his Godzilla BC film, where it's just a Godzilla
Yep.
driven story. I really, I, I'm giving Adam Wingard his flowers, but in my opinion, Michael Dougherty was the guy the whole should have been basically the Kevin Feige of the MonsterVerse, in my opinion.
Okay.
But yeah, I would really like Hedorah, Destroyer, and Geras. I think those are like the three monsters I really want to see come into the MonsterVerse.
All right.
Yeah.
Christian, go right ahead, bud.
Alrighty, first I just want to start with Malik. Totally agree. We need an Anguirus. They gave King Kong a freaking dog before they gave Godzilla his. I won't stand for it, man.
Like, yeah, yo, come on. It still kind of looks like Anguirus a little bit. So I'm like, come on, yo, y'all just no. Anguirus needs to come now.
That's true. Yeah, no, that's like the name I think of everyone wanting is Anguirus, or the one I hear the most, just because it's we need them. We need them. Where I think the MonsterVerse is going to go, at least for Godzilla side of, and I know they're gonna, it's gonna be the next movie's focused on Godzilla. Even if they do bring in Kong, it's gonna be driven by Godzilla, which finally since 2019.
Yeah.
But I mean, whatever they do, I think it will be a combination of having at least, if they do a series with Godzilla after that initial last trilogy with Godzilla and Kong, I think they'll continue with Godzilla side. Of
Mhm.
course, I agree with you guys. They're probably going to do maybe for Godzilla, maybe a 2-3 part run to end his story, finish his story. I think they'll probably do a combination of having a Toho character in there as one of the big bads for possibly one of those three, and then the original monsters will be their own for the big bads of the other one. Kind of hard to tell, but I do know whatever's coming next is it's gonna have to be tough and hard because if loved him in Godzilla X Kong, loved him. He's just literally too strong for his own universe right now. That's the issue. Let's be honest. You move one-on-one, he was bodying. Any interaction with Scar King, all Scar King would do would run away. The way he handled Skyla, freaking tendril monster, basically, had no issue, and that was in his pre-evolved form. Went ahead and faced Tiamat, which is, in the comic, a really big deal, and then he kind of just off screens him, kind of sucked to see. So right now he's too strong. So whatever they have is gonna have to be a big threat.
Yes.
All over.
Name.
I love seeing Godzilla swim through the zero grav. I'm like, it makes sense because it was natural habitat used to swimming, literally very similar. But no, I would love to see Anguirus come back. I don't think he's going to be, the main threat. He's not going to be the main threat. He'll be, another side character. He'll be Doug's friend. Calling it now, Doug is the end game enemy at the end of the trilogy. He's going to kill Godzilla. No, I do want to see very badly Biolante to see what Legendary would do with them. I know the big one is seeing Destroya. I'm here or there. Destroya on its own. The Toho design. Oh my goodness.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Perfection.
Yes.
I really want to because Ghidorah stands 64 here. I need more Ghidorah. I need a Mecha Ghidorah. Because if they don't stop playing with us and give us Mecha Ghidorah, they've been teasing it. They've been like showing little hints of it. There's little Easter eggs of it. We need that. We need that. I need that. There's no way they're not gonna finish the MonsterVerse and not bring out a Mecha G. We need Mecha Ghidorah. This is a Ghidorah household.
I love it.
Okay.
Ghidorah is my son. We need a Mecha Ghidorah film, and
Boy.
I think a 10, 11 film run is perfect. Ghidorah Stan has risen. Yep, you know what I mean. But yeah, I think the next movies he's gonna have to deal with some hard hitting kaiju because he's just got too strong for his own good.
Yes.
Oh hell yeah! You know what? I actually really like the way you're coming from that. Or like, yeah, it's kind of like the burning Godzilla with the Destroyer. He got way too powerful and had to absolutely make that motherfucker. But man, shoot, I think just because my favorite is Titanosaurus, I would love to see Titanosaurus.
Okay. Oh, Eric would be happy. Eric would be happy.
Yeah, at least see the both of us would really benefit from just having Titanosaurus in there one more time. You know, he was brainwashed in one movie, the next movie maybe not, maybe just be regular. You know, just have him out there enjoying life, maybe little fighting action. What?
Yeah. And to have combat, that'd be pretty damn cool. And, obviously, Godzilla not using any of his powers. He's just duking it out with his, tails,
hell yeah,
paws and hands. That'd be awesome, Celeste.
Oh hell yeah, we've been going at it. Oh my
Oh,
god!
that'd
Plus,
be awesome.
Titanosaurus is also a water creature, so we have the potential for a really cool underwater fight scene again. Kind of because we didn't get, like you guys were saying, too much with Tiamat, which is horrible that they did off screen. I wish we would have a little more action there. Hopefully, we see a little action with something like that. I would particularly love an underwater fight scene, but I kind of like Also, really quickly, in like the figures they have out, they have Suko and Doug in that same packaging. Even if the next movie isn't about Kong, or maybe just show them a little bit, I would love to see somehow throwing it in there that they became friends. If
Yes, the interaction. Yes.
Oh hell yeah! Kong is gonna have Shimo. Hopefully they'll bring Anguirus back, have him there, and Suko is gonna have Doug, and then it'll just be like everyone has a partner.
Somebody
Everyone has a dog.
Everybody has a dog.
I would love that. But yeah, I saw those figures and then I saw the movie and I was like, man, I wish they would have had some sort of small interaction. So maybe in the future, even if Kong is not like a movie about Kong, but I would have loved to see that. But yeah, as well, Anguirus, I would love to see Biolante and Destroya. I'd be absolutely like, it'd be kind of cool to have Destroya with another monster, but I think Destroya in itself would be just his own movie.
Yes.
But I also saw, I think a lot of people saying Space Godzilla. I personally would really like to see that, just the new redesign for Space Godzilla, and hopefully maybe somehow there'll be another small Godzilla in there, kind of like the last movie. But yeah, I don't know why I really do like Biolante and Destroyer having hopefully the future new movie, but I would have loved to see Space Godzilla just to see how they play out, especially with in the Emi tribe they had all those crystals and stuff there.
Yes.
So somehow they bring that in. Something's gonna find out. Mothra hopefully will be there, but I would just kind of. That's what I was seeing when I first saw the movie. All the crystals, I was like, oh, maybe we have some potential for a Space Godzilla. So I think that would kind of be my looking forward into it. Maybe one of the next ones, but I think that would be my honest thing. I would love to see Destroy it in the next, but I would love to see like Ghidorah just like kind of put those crystals to use somehow.
Yes. Okay. You know what? That's a good point. I didn't even think about that shit. Wow. And now, like, and I'm putting it all together, like especially because Mothra was there, and obviously like with Godzilla versus Space Godzilla, the way how Space Godzilla was formatted was a fragment of Biollante and Godzilla's flesh attaching to Mothra when she went up to outer fucking space. So they could have just
Yeah,
used, they could definitely go that route with like a fragment of the crystals from Hollow Earth, went into outer space, and they could do something with that. They could definitely work around that.
Yeah, I think they're
If
safe
that
on
is
swarming in the space right there.
yes, yes. So like, but like that shit could happen. It's for the monster verse. They in this movie was enough proof that literally, if you think you know everything of what's to come in this universe, you just don't know shit. And this movie was a prime example of that. So again, I mean, to answer the question I was asking you guys, the Monsterverse has such a long career that they don't even know. I don't even think they're even ready for many years to come. All right.
yeah,
I do hope it doesn't get like the whole Star Wars MCU treatment where they just end up becoming stale, and then everybody, and even people that are not even diehard Godzilla fans, people that are just becoming fans because of the MonsterVerse are bashing it. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't want that. But still give it enough like time in between, like maybe like every 2, maybe even 3 years, maybe 3 years, maybe a stretch, but like we get something new. Even in between that, we get like shows or whatever the case may be. In terms of monsters or Kaiju or Titans that I would like to see in the MonsterVerse, listen, I'm all for um original monsters. All right, that's the only praise I'd give Scar King and Shimo, as I mentioned earlier, is that there are original Titans that Legendary had made to put into the MonsterVerse. What would I would like to see of already pre-existing Titans? Obviously any of the classic Toho monsters. I'm surprised has even brought in these guys up. I'd love to see like possibly a Titan reference or Titans reference to that of Sanda and Gyra from the War of the Gargantuas. Or if not that, just like obviously an updated version of them.
yeah.
Obviously Anguirus. Um, shit, listen, I want to see a fucking baby Godzilla. All right.
Thank you. Yep.
That is gonna listen. I know people hate Minya. I don't understand why. Listen, that would
Yeah,
be the cutest, the most funniest, and just a complete curveball of a fucking throw turn for the Monsterverse. I'd like to see that. And again, because this universe is so out of the ordinary that you could literally throw in any of the Titans or the kaijus that we've grown up to see and grown up to love or even hate to be in this fucking monsterverse, they can all fit into it. Or if they want to do the route of, hey, listen, we're Legendary Pictures, we've had already produced other, giant monster movies such as Pacific Rim. Let's throw them in the fucking mix. All right. Since
Yeah.
that's been the biggest fucking
Crossover.
crossover.
yes,
Yeah,
people have been wanting. And you know, Nate, now that you're here in the comments, I did read on the Easter eggs with the Godzilla eating the fucking pizza. There are a bunch of Easter
Yeah.
eggs. If you guys, when you guys look at it, there's a bunch of Easter eggs surrounding that specific spray painting art. They show the Exilian UFO. They show Save the Earth with Hedora's eyes. They even show the punch, punch, punch referencing Jet Jaguar and a bunch of other cameos to that of classic Godzilla media that I like to think are possible teasers to that of what could come in the future. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, all right, the vet making a mechanic arm for Kong. Who's to say that motherfucker ain't going out and he's making a mech
little
of his own in Jet Jaguar?
Yeah.
Jaguar.
And
I've been hearing a lot of fans say they want Trapper to make Jet Jaguar. I think that would be cool. That
You
would,
yeah.
know,
yeah, it's especially,
so like no, but like
yeah,
see
that,
like that again. This universe has shown that it is such a left. Well, it's not a left fucking curveball. There's no such thing, but it is such a curveball of a fucking universe that it can be doable. All right,
Yeah.
listen. And I know there's people that do not like the MonsterVerse. I
Yep.
know that there are people that would rather bash it and not give a single fucking penny to go pay any of these fucking movies. Listen, that's fine and dandy. All right. For me, obviously, we've all had different opinions on specific topics that we talked about tonight. Even in the earlier show with everybody, like the main MWA, people alongside with Leslie, special guest Leslie Chambers, we all had our own different opinions, but that's what makes this community so big and so united. That we may
Yep.
have different opinions, but we could all get together as one big happy family, despite our differences with specific topics, and still share the love and appreciation, the passion that we have in this community. And that goes to the same thing for the MonsterVerse. Listen, you may not agree with it for anybody that does not fuck with the MonsterVerse, but if it wasn't for the MonsterVerse, Godzilla would not be in the public eye of the mainstream audience.
No,
That
and
Amen.
yeah.
Amen.
That's true.
fact.
Amen to that.
Also,
No, Adrian, that does not include my fucking love for Kong, but since you want to bring up glasses for this
Here
shit,
comes the
guess what?
glasses.
You can sell your soul to that simp ass Kong, but his ass belongs in the MonsterVerse. And who made the fucking MonsterVerse? Not that motherfucker. They had to pin that motherfucker in the universe that made the MonsterVerse in the Godzilla universe to make that son of a bitch relevant. That's all I got.
I would say mic drop, but I got a toothpick, so I'll say toothpick drop.
Oh, yo, Razor Ramon, R.I.P. buddy.
Remember, Godzilla's name always comes first.
Also,
Yes,
they,
Godzilla's
Yes.
comes first.
yeah, and
Listen,
you know what, Jordan?
they didn't have to. Listen, they did not have to add Kong into this shit, but they had to make him relevant to be in the world that Godzilla fucking rules.
Yeah, and you know what, Jordan? Speaking of the little Godzilla thing, there have been fans that were able, fans have been able to do their own little version of a baby legendary Godzilla. I'm sure a lot of y'all have seen it on social media.
There's a
Yeah.
lot.
The freaking
A lot.
You can hear him screeching a little, which is very adorable. Which I kid you not, I would love to see this little guy in figure form. And again, and it's just mind blowing that us fans, from 2014, especially like say for example like YouTubers. Without 2014, without the MonsterVerse, we wouldn't have gone like the newer YouTube channels called like Dangerville or Goji Center, or like say let's see ASM or who does I think he does animation, crossovers or whatever, and also figure collectors, which are stop motion creators. No, I think ASM. I think he's the one that does like stop motion. Where he recently did like a cross another second like a double dang it, what was it? A rematch for Godzilla, legendary Godzilla and Godzilla 98 with stop motion figures, which is
crazy. I know you're talking about EGM, yeah.
I love that, and it's just crazy how us fans from young from the newer generation or us around our ages and everything, like we like Godzilla has the Godzilla name has boomed so much, and yeah, like you said, and I've said it multiple times as well, without the MonsterVerse we wouldn't have Shin Godzilla, we wouldn't have Godzilla Singular Point,
-1
trilogy, -1, we would not have not gotten Godzilla winning a damn Oscar. Now that like what else like is there like can Godzilla not have? He already has a damn Hollywood star. He has a damn Oscar. He was a freaking the Godzilla Day or Godzilla Month. I can't remember in Japan. I can't remember exactly, but he pretty much Godzilla has done and achieved a whole lot. And some of it was before the MonsterVerse, some of it was after or during. And of course, we wouldn't be having conversations like this. I wouldn't be like just being with having discussions on like say Collect All Monsters, or of course with MWA, with you, Celeste, Elijah, Joe, Samson, Eric, pretty much everyone. Because I'm always getting, I'm gonna time myself out of saying everyone's names, but literally the whole cast of freaking Monsters with Attitudes, and it's very wonderful. And of course, more collectibles like we have Monster Arts, of course, but Hyatt Toys is really stepping up, and can't wait to see what else they're off through. And also Spiral Studios. Spiral Studios is a brand new company that came out, not too long ago. I feel like because of the MonsterVerse in some sort of way, but I could be wrong. Or Prime One Studios, but of course, they've been around for years. And it's just crazy and wonderful, and I love this stuff. Oh, and also another thing before I forget. I think. Oh, it was the question. One favorite moment of the film. Just has to be. Well, I would say 3. Actually, let's screw it. 3 favorite moments you liked in the film. Pretty much a lightning round. I'll go first. The main 3 I like from the movie and the scenes is Kong helping out that one ape that was knocked out. Second I liked was when Godzilla did, of course, the suplex, and third one was when Godzilla and Mothra had a freaking little heart-to-heart moment. Malik, go pick your 3 favorite moments that you can think of.
Number 1, definitely the Godzilla suplex. Number 2, it was, even though it was very, very short, Godzilla versus Tiamat. I thought that was a really cool scene. And for number 3, I definitely got to say Kong using Suko as a baseball bat.
Yeah. The last question, whoever wants to go next.
Yeah. So, number 1, Doug proving his dominance on Kong and absolutely stealing his food. Number 2, funny enough, one of my favorites was Scar King pointing at Kong's fake Jordans and having everyone laugh at him. And the third one, oh my goodness. Can we just get appreciation for the freaking Godzilla doing the final flash, bro? That was crazy.
Sorry. Love that. My top 3 moments, I think, I'm gonna have to go with one of my first ones being when he jumped off the cliff into the ocean.
Yes.
That was so cool. For some reason, when it first happened, I thought he was like doing that on land. He was just gonna hit Kong straight on. So I was like, "Oh my god!" But thankfully, it was the ocean. But I was like, "Damn, that is so cool." We don't really see stuff like that too often. So it was kind of cool to see him fly again, kind of essentially. Maybe not like in the other way, but he caught some air. Yeah. And then, the Kong absolutely thrashing Suko, just absolutely bashing his soul with those things, the other apes. I thought that was so funny, and I think seeing Mothra too, when she first showed up, that was one of my also favorites. Just playing it up as to be like it was just a fake going out there, and actually her being in the movie, I was just like, holy shit! So, it was awesome. But those I think have to be my top 3.
All right, Jordan.
That's a good one, bro. All right, I'm just gonna say it in abbreviated Godzilla. That's it, bro. But out of seriousness, it's definitely like the fight sequence in Egypt between Godzilla and Kong. I did like that. Obviously, I mentioned it earlier. Godzilla's interaction with Mothra. And I'm the first screen time Godzilla had when going up against Skyland, just fucking murking that wasted fucking Titan. That was another fucking moment that I was like, oh my fucking god, But so those are my 3 greatest moments, or my 3 favorite moments in the movie. I do not want to drag this video on as long as it's already been. It's about to be 3 hours.
Yes.
But you know what?
We was having fun with it, yo. That's all that matters.
You know what I'm saying? That's what makes this community so special and so beloved. Like, you guys, Celeste, Christian, you guys are going to G Fest this year, right?
Yep.
All right. So Oscar, you're going to G Fest as well, right?
Unfortunately, not this year. Hopefully, whenever next year or 2 years later or whenever, yeah. Unfortunately, because I'm still trying to save up for a house first. Then
Okay,
that's-
okay.
I can
So
display my a lot better.
you're getting your priorities. You're adulting, I guess. All right.
Yeah.
He's hosting G Fest for next year at his new house.
Yeah.
Malik, did you find anything about this year about what you're gonna do for G Fest?
Well, trying to stay optimistic. Hopefully, I could get a summer internship.
Mm-hmm.
Being a little optimistic, but priorities come first.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not. I mean, I'm not too quick to rule anything out. We still got a little bit of time before then. But
Yep.
as of right now, yeah, nah. Next year probably will be my G Fest year.
Realistic. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, listen, I already got my shit. I got my tickets booked. I got my fucking hotel. Oh my god. So I've been to so many conventions before getting into G Fest last year, being that it was my first time. So this is my second G Fest. And every convention I've been to, none of them has ever had the proper like fan to fan like interaction, just where there's no sense of judgment. You could be you. We'll accept you for whoever it is that you are, whatever it is that you do, because we're all big one fucking happy family than that of what I experienced at G Fest. All right. Celeste, Christian, you guys are gonna have a blast. I promise you. Shit, listen, if it wasn't for me showing up last year at G Fest, I don't think I'd ever be a part of fucking Monsters with Attitude, because that was, well, first and foremost, that was the first time I met or seen Adrian in person. I've talked to Adrian many times, and he had actually reached out to me during the pandemic, and that was my first ever like exposure to MWA, doing a live stream between him and Samson. And then after that, it was Leslie Chambers, Kyle from Collect All Monsters, AJ Russo, Kaiju Live. So it just stemmed from that. And then I created my YouTube channel, et cetera, yada, yada, yada. Speaking of handle names, Celeste, do you have any type of social media people could follow you on before we close off tonight's show?
I do. I actually have a TikTok where I post sometimes my unboxings, and I also have a Instagram specifically for my Godzilla account.
Yep.
Yep. I think they're the same name. Let me just double check real quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my Instagram is just Jurassic Zilla Babe, and then TikTok is Zilla.babe. So I just do a lot of Godzilla postings, and it's just mainly all Godzilla. So
Oscar, do you have a handle of your own?
Well, obviously, I have my personal Facebook account, which is Oscar Solis. I have Snapchat, which is Oscar_Swolies, but I don't post a whole lot of my Godzilla, stuff. Obviously, Instagram, not Godzilla, Oscar the Monsterverse Maniac. Obviously, I share a whole lot of other people's posts, or I'll post my whatever once in a while. And obviously, I do live streams on the Monsters with Attitudes on Facebook group.
Yes, you do.
Every, at least once a week, but lately, or twice a week. I've been lazy lately. I really need to get back into it, but I have been doing, I think next week, hopefully, or if not, eventually, I'm gonna do like top 10 favorite MonsterVerse films, or not films, monsters, or re-ranking my MonsterVerse, films and shows, from 2014, Monarch, the Netflix Skull Island series, and of course Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. So that too, and of course, I'm slowly getting some more packaging coming in. I already have 2 things that already came in. I'm still gonna wait to have more stuff. So yeah, Malik, or have like any social
Yeah.
media you guys want to have us follow, whatever.
Yep.
Christian.
I have my own my personal Facebook, Malik Watson. You'll be able to find me on Instagram. My I make custom Godzilla figures. Walik_12. WALIK _12. I make custom Godzilla figures, custom articulated Godzilla figures. That's pretty much it. Instagram's mostly where I mostly am the most active. Uh, so be on the lookout. I have a couple projects that I haven't really been able to work on due to school, but the summer is my semester is ending in 3 weeks, so I'll be able to produce a lot of new content there. But yeah, Instagram's really where I'm mostly at.
Cool.
And Christian, what about you, my man?
You can find me on TikTok at _GhidorahStan64.
That's fucking awesome.
And that's really, I don't really do other social media and stuff. On that page, I'm just reposting a lot of Godzilla stuff that I come across. So yeah, and I'm excited for Ghidorah Fest as well. So
Yes, Nathaniel.
It's so funny. You're hilarious.
60
You make me
years,
laugh.
60 years. That's what I'm saying. It's
All right.
Oh
Ghidorah Fest.
man.
All right, Mr. Jordan, you yourself, my friend.
All right. So obviously, I've been doing social media for quite some time. If you guys are not familiar with Bada Boom, a realist Goji fan in the room, how you doing? It is me. It is your boy. It is the one and only Jordan, the Don Adorno. And if you did not know, these are my beloved kaiju family right here. This was such an experience. And before we wrap things up, I would like to add here in the screen with us right now, my brother, the one who got me into this group to begin with, my boy, my brother from another mother, Adrian. So, Adrian, please just show your beloved face to the people who do not know how much of a handsome individual you are, my friend. Please.
On down, Adrian. There
I
we
mean,
go.
about 3 hours was enough to see me, but okay. What's up? What's up, Jordan? What's up, Kaiju family? I just been hanging out, just playing producer while they did a great job on the show. Good job. Good job, everybody. I'm proud of y'all.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Ooh.
Well, first, Adrian, really quick. Eric, if you're still watching this, I just want to thank you, Adrian, and Eric for trusting me to just, you know, just basically guide this whole episode and stuff like that via asking questions and stuff like that. Just basically, taking control of just, doing what obviously I do with social media and stuff like that, but also, to just help get everybody that's here in this show the proper exposure to that of what is not just a community, but obviously a one big happy family. So again, Adrian, I thank you, my brother. Same thing for you, Eric. I thank you guys so much for trusting me to be able, or first and foremost, to trust me to do this, but to also help me just be able to do that for Celeste, Oscar, Christian, and Malik as well.
Of course, no problem.
Thank you,
Thank you
Adrian.
for taking the responsibility, Jordan. We appreciate it.
Ah, man, no problem.
Well, yes, Grant. We have. Let's see. Anything else before we do our good old catchphrase here?
No, well, first and foremost, I gotta see that plushie. So let's better pop that sucker back on the screen.
My favorite. I put a shirt on him too.
That's
I
dope.
thought it was
That's
so funny.
dope.
It fit perfectly.
funny.
So I just need to bring him out. I love this little guy.
Adorable.
Thank you.
Really quick before we close things off. All right, Celeste, you keep that plushie. Does anybody else have like a little plushie or like a small little knickknack they want to show off in the screen and stuff like that?
I'm glad
say
you mentioned
little
that. Hold on, let
necessarily.
me grab it.
Or it can even be like something like that's like big enough to fit the screen. Plushie,
This-
small, whatever.
This big
No, I
SOB.
got- Which one?
Oh yes.
Yes.
I got this motherfucker right here.
What the? Oh yeah.
But do you know what this is?
I do.
It's a commissioned wrestling mask that had commissioned me many years ago while I was training to become a professional wrestler.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember you did mention that. Well,
Yeah, this is this bad boy right here. So I figured, before we close it off, we just show our little, our love and appreciation to Kaiju before. Adrian, do you want to close us off, or do you want me to do it? Or what do you want to do, brother?
Hey, you ran the whole show, Jordan. You close us out.
All right, so I see Oscar with the higher toys. Okay. All right, Christian, is that Shin Godzilla?
Yeah, dude, he's all tail.
All right, Malik,
hey,
Titanosaurus.
All right, so Oscar, I know you've been wanting to close the show. I know you've been wanting to say the quote. So by all means, go right ahead, bro.
All right, there's nothing else to say but embrace
the attitude.
Attitude.
Hey.
Good night, everybody.
Good night,
Night, everyone.
Deuces.
Good night.